Live from Jakarta, Indonesia, the battle will start here in the M7 World Championship. Let the world see us.
Can't wait to go to Bali after all this, man. Do they have any Japanese onsen since Bali?
Oh, they might actually. I know it's going to be really comfortable in Bali overall. It's going to be a good time, especially since M7 has been this exciting. It's like so. Yo, OG, bro, come on.
Yeah, join us. Join
Yeah,
us.
come.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the guy. He's
It's
got
the
voice
guy.
line in the game.
Benchana, that's him.
That's the guy.
What?
So, yo, man.
I'm
sorry-
sleeping now. What?
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, but like,
Sige, sige.
how do you feel about like Alter Ego finally gonna be the first team to make it to the knockouts?
But it's not enough for me because I need only go to knockout, please. Two teams, Indonesia and knockout. So we can beat you guys.
Oh,
What do you think about Indonesia can beat Philippines now?
I think.
No, no.
Hey, well,
Yeah,
I think they've got a chance. They've
well,
got a chance. What about
yeah.
you?
Yes.
See,
See,
yeah.
see.
Bro, respect to the opponents.
We can go do up, bro.
Yeah, just keep going up. But hey, Alter Ego, they're very good. They're very good, and I'm not losing hope for Onyx.
Hey, man, since you brought it going up, check this out. What's up there?
What's up there, our legends? And down here is Rose, your host for today. And with that, I welcome you to the M7 World Championship. Yesterday, we witnessed Alter Ego as the first team to qualify for the knockout stages. And unfortunately, we had to say our goodbyes to Jianfeng Yao Kuai. And of course, today, as we all await another qualification match in the evening between Selangor Red Giants and Team Liquid, let us first witness the match between Boost Gates Esports and CFU Gaming. This match will be a do or die. This is the second half of the Swiss stage round 3. And without further ado, let the world see us.
Everyone is usually asking for a little bit more color with their technology, so we're going to give you a little bit of RGB. It's Renmar, Gideon, and Brigida to cover for this day of the Swiss stages. Welcome back. How are you guys feeling? I'm still losing my voice. How are you guys feeling after everything we've witnessed?
Honestly, I'm feeling really, really good. After seeing what happened yesterday, it feels like teams are kind of finding their momentum back again, that state of flow. The teams are being expressive. but I don't think that the meta has been figured out just yet.
Yep. I was actually thinking of where the RGB was coming from because I'm wearing black and he's wearing gray and maybe the red is you.
What?
But yeah, for me,
Our names. First
I am
letter.
feeling so tense about my first cast today because we are immediately jumping into an elimination match. So
Yeah.
it's very sad that we get to see one team say goodbye again, but that's just how it is. And I just hope that they get to unleash their full potential in this series.
Yeah, again, just in case you missed it yesterday, we bid goodbye to TFYG and celebrate Alter Ego as the first team to advance to the knockout stage. Today, we're about to witness another elimination and qualification match. That's going to be at the top of the day with our first match, and then later on with our final match in that Selling Or Red Giants versus Team Liquid meetup. So make sure that you're updated because there's going to be a lot of action. We know it's a weekday. We know you're probably busy. So from time to time, check it out. But in just a bit, we're going to be showing you the brackets of the Swiss stage so far so that we could just follow you up with what you have potentially missed. Remember, 5 rounds of Swiss. We're on the 3rd round now, and 8 teams will qualify for knockouts, while 8 teams get eliminated. Only teams with the same standing can battle each other. 3 wins you qualify, 3 losses, and you're out.
It's time for the conclusion of this very 3rd round. We need to conclude all the matchups still left. We have one potential elimination and 1 potential qualification for anyone in the uppers and as well as the lowers. The middle of the pack have almost been finished off, but there's still some questions that need to be asked. Question is, who else is going to be joining potentially TFYG or have to face a qualification match just to stay alive?
Yep, and I think one of those biggest questions too is what the matchups are going to be. So eventually later on, we will be having another draw to determine what these matchups are for the 2-1 and the 1-2 pool, which is kind of like the second to the last round of
Yep.
the entire Swiss stage that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So as we mentioned, we have the 2 BO3s to open up our day and close it out. While in the little BO3 sandwich, it's Evil versus Aurora Turkey for the second match. And the third match is Team Spirit versus Onyx. And after Team Spirit versus Onyx, there's going to be no more BO1s. Because at that point, most teams are going to be either a 2-1 or 1-2, meaning that we're just going to be looking at all best of 3s for the remainders of Swiss.
Yeah, just look at the last 2 matches that we'll have for today.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure everyone has their eyes set on these 2 series, and that's why we're saving them for last.
I
you know?
think I think there's a conspiracy personally.
What's
They
that?
always notice that every single team at Liquid game, and especially when it's going to be a big important one with maybe some cultural ties to maybe some of the nationalities that we have here on broadcast. Why are we always the ones, Brigitte, who have to go cast these big games against 2 teams that we both like a lot?
That's true. But you're in between 2 Filipinos right now. So
Not surprised. I've
I'm-
been doing it since M1, so it's nothing's changed.
So we have to look at this one first, though, as Boostgate and CFU fight for their lives. CFU, they continue to search for the fire that once fueled their MPL Cambodia Season 9 reverse sweep, while Boostgate, of course, who came from Wildcard, continue adjusting to the BO1 format. Now, there's something about CFU. They're different. Of course, they didn't have the easiest run in M6, but of course, we all remember them from as the team that almost eliminated SRG up until Innocent decided, nope, this isn't going to happen. But it's really different. The CFU from last year to the CFU now is just 2 very different teams.
I actually have a bit of a different opinion. I think that the CFU, unironically, is kind of exactly the same, which is the innate problem with this team. Because so far, based on what we saw from last year, right, what gave them their strength is a great understanding of the template or format of how many teams are going to play. This time around, I think it's kind of up in the air because the meta rewards people so much for making huge plays and getting creative with your angles.
or maybe it's a slight miscalculation on their part too, because I feel like they're trying to stick with that exact idea as you've mentioned, but it's just that it's not working entirely in their favor compared to how we saw them last M6, where I think they finished 5th or 6th and they've been performing really well. There have been a lot of times wherein they tend to overextend, or if not all of them, a single player, maybe Boxy, when he tries to go for the setups, just really tends to overextend, and the other teammates don't seem to be on the same page.
Now we have to look at Boostgate Esports, of course, highlights from their wild card advancement with one of the most surprising results of the tournament so far, them defeating Virtus Pro in 5 games, winning this 3-2. Now, this series was just a back and forth. Stomp win, stomp loss, stomp win, stomp loss, up until a very competitive game number 5, which I feel like maybe for Boostgate, I think this format works better for them. The longer the series goes, the better, more information they have to work with, the more they understand the tendencies of their opponents in terms of where they want to position and how the tempo of their play is. That by the time, let's just say, considering that Brigida is here, that it goes to game number 3, I think Boostgate would have already fully downloaded CFU.
I think that's a big problem, right? For me, naturally, only because I have a very differing opinion. When I look at Boostgate, their best of ones probably should have been their penultimate way of kind of beating these teams with their sort of playstyle. Like they have such a fluid motion, even against facing off against Ionic ID. They nearly won. They brought it all the way to the later stages of the game, and I think that's the big issue, right, for a lot of these teams. Coming into this best of 3, if you're just trying to figure your opponent out in the first 2 matches, and even if the second match happens to be lucky in your favor, I still think that Boostgate might not be able to get through that last hurdle.
I guess I'm a bit hopeful in terms of Boostgate in best of 3s when it comes to their draft. I think there is indeed something that still has to be addressed when it comes to how they carry out or even finish off the game, even though they started really, really well. But Coach Tezet, I think even in best of ones, has shown us really commendable priorities when it comes to draft. And if we're talking about how they're able to adjust and download their opponents in not even best of 3s just yet. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do that now that they're in this match.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to talk about Boostgate Esports compared to CFU, considering we've seen their climb since the wildcard stages. Well, for CFU, it was one game that delivered a very surprising result where they lost to Black Sentence, a second game where it was, and what's happening to CFU? Again, comparing the two stats, of course, it's going to skew heavily towards the M7 wildcard because so far it's only been the BO1s. Things should level out if ever Boostgate continue and maybe if ever they make it to the 2-2 bracket.
When we compare these stats, right, obviously the wildcard is going to be our baseline, but then when we're looking at the M7 Swiss stage, notice that both Team GPN and DPM take a dip, but not enough. Like you would imagine that the DPM would be closer to like 1.9K, right? But it's only down by 300 compared to the 100, well, even less than that, 60 technically from Team GPM, which just goes to show, despite having a 0% win rate, they are still playing their game. They are still getting to that late game. The problem is that closing it out has just not been working for them. Look at their team KDA, 4 points from 6-2.
Yeah, teams in the main stage seem to have dealt with this play style that Boostgate Esports has introduced, or maybe that's the thing too. They've seen enough of Boostgate Esports in the wild card and how they potentially play, so they have probably a decent idea of how to play against this team. Although I've been hearing that even before we entered the main stage, that Boostgate Esports and even in their script that they've been performing or they've been improving really, really well. So that's why I feel like there's more to Boostgate, like we're not seeing enough of them just yet.
Yeah, and that's cool because considering the fact that for the longest time it was Rosa and the gang that's been really setting up or having the standard of what it means to play top Turkish MLBB and how you translate that to global MLBB. And Boostgate has just been following that. While for CFU, yes, in Cambodia, very passionate and also, yes, very difficult region to excel in with how competitive the top teams are. Although CFU is one of those names that constantly get thrown in the hat as one of the top teams in Cambodia, we just have yet to see that form. This M7, question is it similar to Boostgate? Is it really just the BO1s? But then if you look back, this game, especially against Black Sentence, unanimous, they should have won that. They just messed up at the 9th minute and it dipped from there.
That's the thing. It feels like mistakes in the game so far can be heavily punished by a lot of these international teams, right? Which is a big difference that we were seeing from last year compared to this year, where the swing of gold is more common now than it was last time. And now there's the real question, right, of the play styles, the dedicated play style we've known for the past 6 to 8 years, the Filipino play style of, hey, small incremental leads will eventually get us somewhere. But then you see teams like CFU who are like, we're doing that, but then one mistake knocks the whole building down. While at the same time, when you're looking at how explosive people like Kazue is going to be, for all intents and purposes, we could have a 30-minute game and one play could make the difference.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important that CFU really remain mindful all throughout. Because personally, I think that there needs to be a bit more work in terms of Sing and the positionings that we see from him.
Yeah.
The fundamentals definitely there. We saw it even especially in that game with the Claude, especially if they have the Claude, because the Claude is really such a hot pick right now. But when it comes to the latter portions of the game against explosive players, as you mentioned, like Kazue, or even just Boostgate Esports, who you might just or get surprised at the timings that they try to go for in the latter portions of the game, then Sing will be such a key player, especially when he sticks with those marksman picks that he's always picked up in the previous games.
Yeah, when we saw them go up against Aurora Gaming PH, community sentiments were they could have won that if they were just a bit cleaner with their execution. Us Filipinos were sweating watching that game, and it's not just the Southeast Asian heat. It's because that game was so back and forth, and it could have gone anywhere. It could have gone to CFU's way. So let's remind the world what happened back in M6. They beat NIP Flash. They dropped to Fnatic Onyx PH. Then they would take down Vamos, eventually even taking Team Spirit back in M6 to 3 games, taking SRG to the limit in 3 games. The dip in the quality compared to M6 CFU to M7 CFU, we have to address it.
Yeah, it's really significant, right? We were hoping that CFU would at least stand out from amongst the middle of the pack. We obviously have our favorites in terms of our top 3 teams, and I think it goes to show that the rest of the world also probably has a pretty solid idea of who those 3 are going to be. And I thought that CFU might get close, maybe a 4th or 5th in that tier list, maybe arguably even in the 6th because some overlap each other.
Yeah, and the difficult thing is still so many questions. Is it the meta? Are there internal issues? Are the comms not proper? But this is just one of the top or the things that are unavoidable about the major international tournaments of MLBB. There's always that thing.
Yeah, and maybe something inevitable for a team who sticks together for so long. Because again, CFU, their key players, their core players, they've been the same ever since who knows when, and that's something they've always believed in. They wanted their lineup to all be Cambodia players, and they didn't want to change much from their lineups. Their core or their coach even ever since has stayed the same, and definitely there will be some ups and downs, but it's very crucial that they find a way around it now, because this is, as mentioned by Rose in the intro, the do or die match for CFU.
So is it just a lack of evolution? Are they still stuck in the prehistoric period when they should go to the Palean? I'm not good like biology time.
Don't worry. I think that I don't want to say it for sure because it makes me very nervous to say that this team is stagnant. That could hurt them.
Well, it's time to welcome them in. It's CFU versus Boostgate Esports. The aggressive Sharks that the world stage once knew have been dormant for a while. Can they regain the killer instinct now that they're smelling the blood they're spilling? In the EXP, it's Wadu, Jungle, Detective, OP in mid, Boxy and Roman, Sing and Gold. Cambodia, give your energy for CFU Gaming!
They came out of the wild cards in flying colors, but the Swiss stage so far is proving too tough. Is there enough gas for them to reach tomorrow with XPXE? With Jungle Kazue, Mid Identity, Rome Watker, and Gold RX, lock in Boostgate Esports!
I have a good feeling about this one. I hope it goes to 3, and I hope we see the best of these two, because one of them has to go home. It's time for us to also welcome in the coaches. For Boostgate, it's Coach Tezet and Coach Nova. While for CFU Gaming, Coach Timigo and Coach Bob. I feel jitters from them. I feel the tension on the stage. Is it just me, or do you feel the same, Brigida?
If I were in their position, I couldn't help but feel the same. Knowing the expectations that people have for CFU after their previous runs in international tournaments, and even more so for Boostgate, who have been on such great momentum after exiting the wild cards. Now they're faced with a problem, and this is something that they have to overcome right now.
Minimal eye contact throughout those
Woo!
fist bumps. You can tell how nerve-wracking it is for each one of these sides representing their own individual regions. With Boostgate Esports, obviously I'm going to get excited about Kazue and Exi, but there's also Identity Whacker and RX, specifically Identity. When he goes down, the rest of the team's foundation starts to fall apart.
Yeah, it seems like they really are one of those teams that the mid laner is really the anchor, not just in terms of the shot calling, positioning, but in terms of the overall execution. But hey, Brigida, you were talking about Sing earlier. Are there other players of CFU we have to watch out for?
I would probably have my eyes on Boxy and OP and the connection that they are going to have, because I feel like if it's just about the two and their chemistry, it's definitely there, but it's also them having to make sure that the plays that they commit are somewhat a bit more calculated, because I feel like OP, if it's just about the follow-ups, you could rest assured that he is going to provide that to Boxy. But the problem is gonna lie in whether or not they're gonna be successful enough in those, let's say, pick-off attempts, or if it's something that's gonna be punishable for the opponents, as we've seen previously when they were up against the Grok.
Okay, as we head into the battle between the Sharks and the Gates. Yeah, let's go with the Gates. So vote, are you a Gate or are you a Shark? Type it out in whatever chat you're watching from. CFU Gaming or Boostgate, who's going to be winning this one? Now, as we wait for the votes to come out, actually, no, we should talk about a prediction. Yeah,
That's the thing, because I know what I predicted. We all threw it out in the group chat, so we kind of know where each other are feeling. But guys, this is live, by the way. You can actually affect these standings right now if you get involved in the chat. But personally, for me, I think that today CFU might figure out, hey, we just need to fight the way we do. We don't need to play as standard as everybody else. Let's break out of the mold a little bit.
Ooh.
CFU guy today. What about you, Liquid Curly?
Oh, well, that was for last match, but the stats we're seeing right now are actually similar to what I
Oh.
think is going to happen.
What a sudden swing.
It's a sudden jump, yeah.
Yo, Latam just woke up there like, no, we ain't losing to a voting battle of all things.
I was supposed to say
Me Turkey.
the fan.
Hey, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Turkey, not Latam.
No, yeah, I was supposed to say the.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe there are Latin Americans who just
Yep.
love Boostgate for some reason. They're like, we love Turkish coffee and we love Boostgate esports.
No, it's it's something you could easily confuse, but this is surprising. So I think Boostgate gained a lot of fans throughout their run here in M7. It's because prior M7, I think CFU definitely had a lot more.
Yeah. So you are a Boosty girly now.
Yes, I'm a Boosty girl.
I'm a Boosty boy. And Gideon is a CFU man.
He's a gate?
I'm
Oh no, he's not. We are the gates.
it's fine. It's fine. I'll talk to them. I'll talk to them and see what they call their fan base before I make some assumptions. They're
Okay.
not good for broadcast.
Yeah.
CFU on blue, BGT on red side.
Oh, Sora getting taken away right away by Coach Time Ego. While I like this, when you're going up against a team like CFU, the Cambodian play style, it's best if you're on the red side to take away the Grok and the Juice in. Although you could be setting up for surprising Yuzin for Yu Zhong, excuse me, first pick. I
Yeah.
almost just call Yu Zhong Eugene.
No, because maybe you saw the juice in.
Oh yes,
Right.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Use in.
Thank you, saving
Then
me.
you mix it together or something like that.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, it's banned out. I mean,
Yeah.
Strong is completely out of the question. You don't have nothing to worry about it now.
What's your command?
Fanny as well. Now, I don't know. I don't know about you, Brigida, but I am interested in what your thoughts about the openers for these drafts usually, because we've seen a couple of iterations. So far, I don't think anybody's really broken the mold.
Yeah, maybe it's the Claude for Sing. I'm hoping it's the Claude for Sing, since you'd want to put him in a comfortable pick, a power pick that will not require so much attention in the laning. So hopefully it's that, because the Lancelot got banned too.
Kalea's still
Step
open, by the way.
But that too is still open.
I think right now, at least now that Sora's kind of out of the question, Valentina isn't such a big deal until we see some mega ultimates
For
start to come out. But also, since Yves is coming through, I agree with Brigida that right now that Claude is such a phenomenal pick. It makes a lot of sense. What other marksmen do just as good? At the end of the day, Kalea locked in,
Yeah.
Purifies locked in as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I think for Boostgate, considering just how good Claude has been as the top gold laner right now, just pick it up. I would not mind. And then just get another power pick that you can pair with it. Maybe not your jungler, that would be way too greedy. A YSS Cloud together will show a little bit too much.
What
But
about
if you
the
can get one of
Eve?
your EXP laners or mid laners,
Yeah. What about the Eve? Maybe?
banned out.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, first ban, first ban.
That's true. So you didn't have to think about it anymore. Instead,
Oh,
Kazue.
Yeah, it's Kazue's Haya, of course.
Claude, no doubt about it. It's just been the hot pick of the tournament meta so far, and there's no reason not to do it, especially when teams figured out very quickly that fighter emblems make this hero kind of disgusting alongside with carry.
Yeah. Add to that the change to DHS.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Boxy wants to get the Cho again this time, because in a way it could potentially answer some of the problems with the Hayabusa. And oh, never mind. There's the Kalea already
Yeah.
for.
But what if Wadu decides to be like, let me show you some show damage.
Oh,
Let me show you what the Indonesian solo queue has taught me.
Then that would
Damn,
be.
Joe.
Instead, they get the Fredrin. At least they have ways to answer back against the potential dives that'll come in. Because I think Boostgate so far is really going for a dive comp. So you'd want to be very cautious of the picks from CFU.
Are we in like March of 2025?
Yeah.
This is one of those openings. I'm pretty sure all of us during our regular season, that was the go-to.
You know, if Boostgate wants a crazy, unique pick here, I wouldn't mind if they open it up for Lilia later on. They're up against Fredrin in terms of the mid lane, because I don't think Burst is going to do them any good. I want like constant, sustained damage, and then you just continuously pop off. But who the heck am I, right? Don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I think it was arguments for both Farsa as well as Lilia. I think the Farsa is more of a comfort pick coming in from Identity. We've seen him perform decently well when he has access to Feathered Airstrike, but more importantly so, when I look at BGG's composition, it's very like, I come in, I use my abilities. If nobody dies on your side, you can do whatever you want. You can park your car in my garage.
Yeah. So maybe they have to be considering those picks that could disrupt whatever they want to do, and that could stop the momentum coming in for the fight. So the Yuzhong is still open for Wadu.
Yep.
So is the Lapu Lapu that you might want to consider that now that you have the Farsa in your lineup. But they take out heroes for Sing instead.
I like it. At least for Tizet, he's one of the few coaches who are like, I've seen this meta before. Wait a second. So they get rid of the Granger, right? Which is usually a natural comparison when you have Fredrins on your side, because you want to kind of snowball out of control with slow incremental leads that you get from lane, and then coming into the mid game, that's when you can start to pop off. With the Gatot ban from the side of CFU, which is honestly kind of interesting, but at the same time, they already showed their roam. This way, they know for a fact that BGT must take.
Wow.
The question is, how do you set it without the Fredrin?
They seem to know who to target. It's really Sing.
Yeah, and as expected, they take away the high loss as the last ban for CFU. So the best roamers in terms that you can pack Revitalize with are gone. Grok's gone as well.
What?
They end up picking the Phobius.
Why? They could have just gone to like Uranus.
Yeah, what are they preempting? They already took away the
I mean,
carry.
They're denying Arlet for
Arlet,
EXP.
yeah.
The Yuzhong, honestly, Yuzhong does pretty okay in this matchup as long as you don't mess up level 2.
Or what are the other marksmen that are still available? Or is Sing gonna be forced to use a fighter? Because like, if it's fighter gold laners we're talking about,
Yeah, if they're
but
gonna.
that's gonna lack damage for.
Yeah,
Maybe.
at least with a very strong spell vamp. That kind of kit for the two side lanes, both the XP and gold, so that you funnel everything into the Kimi as your main and only carry.
And
But up against a Hayabusa and Farsa, that's going to be way too risky. You're going to need another carry to go
Yeah.
along with this. The Moscow makes the most sense to me,
there you go.
as you mentioned. Yeah, and the Lapu Lapu called it as well.
I don't know. I think they really kind of locked themselves in when they've already showed their mid trio. Not a lot of wiggle room to kind of adjust on the fly at this point. But at the very least, they didn't say, you know what? We want our EXP laner to be shafted. We want to play towards the goal. No, they said, with Lapu, we could contest. We could maybe disrupt that Feathered Airstrike, and this could create space for Sing to actually get to that Trinity fast.
Okay, so we're waiting for Wactor. Wactor's hero. So not in a lot of revitalized heroes, as you've previously mentioned. If they're looking for pick-off heroes,
I know one. Oh, Minotaur. There's still a healer. But you were saying about pickoff.
yeah, the Cho is still there. If they want to match, they have decent burst. The Khalid. I was thinking of this earlier, but then I wasn't sure if it was doing too well in the recent matches.
Well, I think at least for BGT's side, looking at their lineup, I think their biggest problem is like if we don't move out of the lane first,
Yes.
we're gonna have a little bit of a problem. As much as we want a roamer who can actually pick off and set, so at least with Khalid, we have some form of counter engage just in case things go bad to set up for Farsa.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of burst damage to expect just yet. So the early game might not pose that much of a threat, and he could just keep on checking the bushes for his team. So I think
Wow.
map control is going to be very crucial, considering that there are a lot of heroes from CFU who could just dive or jump in and look for the setups as well.
Early to late game potential, leaning heavily towards Boostgate. The other departments, in terms of survivability, controllability, that's where it evens out. But interesting take for these two. In this elimination match, remember you need to survive the series if you want to keep tournament hopes alive.
Let's see where this momentum is going to lean into. Who's going to tip the metronome first? CFU on the blue side facing up against Boostgate Esports on the red. In terms of jungle starts, it's going to be Detective on his purple buff, but we're looking at Exy. Where is Haya on his purple as well? As Lactor already getting chunked down pretty low, and that's the power of Kimmy in the earlier stages.
Yeah, just when I said there won't be as much burst damage, he just stood there in the mid lane, probably tanking a lot of the basic attacks from OP. So that's quite unfortunate if we were to look at Boostgate Esports. But this is looking like a Lethal Wanderer who needs to go into CFU's side. And they're just going to maintain this disciplined start as we're used to seeing so far.
Moxie?
I mean, the knockup is good. Whacker, he doesn't have his flicker, but he should be able to out-sustain it for now. His identity, having to use his Purify and Wings by Wings. All defensive spells have been taken out of the hands of CFU.
Very expensive Sing.
He's okay. Luckily that Quad Shadow didn't connect. It was like a pixel off.
Honestly, because of that early game CFU had, I don't think there's any reason for them to hold back as much anymore. So they could just play it out as aggressively as they want, but still with a bit more caution because Boostgate can turn things around.
Yeah, lots of thrills for both sides. You know how important the aggression is, while there are Master Assassins for both
Yep.
gold laners. And of course, as expected, it's going to be the fighter emblem set for the Claude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just goes to show how mana hungry Sing
Yes.
needs to be on this Moskov to actually get good trades against the Claude. But now, going for the first contention here on a very small objective. It looks like CFU have got the information that they need as they start moving down to hopefully unlock one. They get Exy, they punched him.
Oh!
Boxy underneath the Tarn, tanking too many shots. Force the flicker out as Detective slows the back line of Whacker and Kazue.
Yeah, the enhanced basic attack latched onto the Phobius. That's why he got dragged under tower.
Okay, OP's already level 4 now, so they might want to go for this.
They've caught Identity, forcing him to flicker away. His Purify's not back up as Wadu flickers forward and Detective secures the first turtle of this game. Exy, don't go back in. They're just gonna walk. They just need to walk away. Oh, he dodges back in, hoping that Whacker is gonna get back into the fight. He gets on top of OP, but doesn't hit anything. Even with the Spear of Destruction, this could be an opportunity as he gets back in, Zing! Getting a free assist. First blood going over to CFU.
Yep, there probably was a call right there. Oh, but they're still going for it. Does Exy survive this though? He's all alone.
He shouldn't survive it, but he's gonna try anyway. Detective locks him down just in time. 2-0. First 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the game.
I think that's a little bit over-eager by Boostgate to take fights like that, but well, in the end, their Claude got some gold up top, but I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, there was probably some communication between them. That Identity was there, Kazue was there, every single or almost all of their other members were there, but what they failed to take into account was the fact that they are against the Moskov, and Sing just waited for the perfect timing to go in and join that team fight which took place in the Turtle.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is the fact that Exy, he's going for that full tank build, right? He's not looking to eventually build into that War Axe. He needs to just peel for his team. And that's great for Detective specifically, because as soon as he got that Dreadnought armor, he was taking no damage.
Thinking that maybe that also could have been the bait. Could that have been part of the plan? Identity?
Oh,
He's gone.
Yikes.
Can't do anything. No Purify, but Retribution was used by Detective, though.
yeah, but that's not gonna stop them from just constant invading. RX there. Okay, they might not go for this yet, but they're already looking to set up. And
Well,
it's something that you would expect from CFU, considering this lead that they already have.
I mean, we talked about it. This is the playstyle of CFU Gaming. They like to go fast. They like priority in the mid, set things up for Detective. And of course, even back then in M6, it was Detective's Fredrin. Wait.
Purify luckily keeping him alive. RX having to use the Blazing Duet. At least Whacker is nearby just in case. And thankfully, this allows Kazue to get a buff for himself as now the turtle gets contested. They're posturing. Wait for it. Wait for it. Whacker, he's looking for an opportunity. opportunity to try and steal this away, but it looks like Xe having to use his ult to get in the middle of the fight. Tsunami Slam as well into the Feather Airstrike, landing onto 3. They've lost 2, and now the Spirit Destruction. No assist just yet as Boxy forced into an awkward position. The Oki Shadow kill is good, and Wadu manages to survive. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of CFU Gaming.
Fortunately, Boostgate still got something out of that because CFU Gaming and the plays that they go for prior objectives have been working so well. The fact that they took out the Purify from RX before they started that fight, and that Wadu was readily there with his Bravest Fighter just to ensure that the zone or the zoning or the space was created, seemed or almost felt like Boostgate Esports would have had a hard time trying to contest. But fortunately, Kazue also found an opening, so it's not like they didn't entirely get nothing out of it. But this is still a gold lead that's continuously increasing in the hands of CFU.
I'm also starting to see here the potential of Boostgate Esports finding a big turnaround at around minute 8, minute 9.
Oh, okay. The Raging Sandstorm was committed. Now the
Wow.
Tsunami Slams, the Feather Airstrike does get canceled out. They can fully turn their attentions here. The taunt onto RX, but XT able to peel just in time. The Blazing Duet was good, and Moxie ends up dying as the Oki Shadow kills next to fall. Seeing alongside with Detective must peel. Appraiser's Wrath doesn't connect in time. OP finds XT as RX takes out Detective. It is an even trade, 6-3, but CFU still hold on to that lead.
Renmar was just talking about it.
Yeah.
That turnaround play came a bit too early for Boostgate Esports here. Hold on, Sing.
Oh, whoa!
Oh.
No!
He knew he messed up.
Yeah.
He knew he messed up, and that Spirit Destruction, really, all of it, just for hopefully connecting and making an outplay.
I have to say though, props to RX. He went in at the perfect timing. He knew that there was no knock up to come from Boxy just yet because he just used it and he took that opportunity, and everyone else from Boostgate Esports followed.
Now we sit on this turtle once again. Xe has been great, but Wadu jumping early with Bravest Fighter, allowing Xe to get into the middle of the fight. Now with the Numenov Bloodrust already out of the way, and the Feather Airstrike Detective takes the turtle. Purify already coming through. Boxy forced to run, flickers off. All ults being utilized. And you can see that Detective wasn't able to get in close for the Appraiser's Wrath.
Yeah. This might be a problem if you're now forced to use your skills as a Kalea to just cancel the entries of Boostgate rather than you looking for the setups yourselves.
Yeah, and I appreciate how both gold leaders have been very active in the map, of course, with RX rushing the DHS. It's very quick for Detective Wadu and Boxy to feel the pain that the Claude can dish out on them. Now Boostgate is eyeing the tower up top.
Boxy, he needs to cancel this. Oh, he doesn't have enough time. It's too late. Identity takes him out with a Feather Airstrike as we already see the Pulse pulling him back. Is he going to take it? Is he going to take it? We're thinking about it. He does! And now Xe in the middle of the fight getting reset after reset as Identity is thinking he wants to get these contacts, but it's too late. It's already one down, and Identity soon to fall after. Can RX get his BMI back up? No! Flicker into the Land Shatterer. Nicely played by Wadu.
Wadu, coming in just in time.
Yeah, they held, Wadu and Detective held the BMI too well. There was no way RX could have walked back to or could have went back to that BMI. So he had no other choice but to walk. But Wadu, with the flicker still available, was able to catch him. And luckily, Identity didn't go down too. Oh wait,
They're going to try for another dive, and it's going to be very successful, knowing that Wacker has nothing left. And they break open a tier 1. How far? Make a prediction here, Renmar. How much of a lead are they going to get off of this?
Oh, I think they could eventually swing this into a 4-5, closer to 5 later on, if they can keep expanding the presence that they have in the map, considering the mid tower as well. Just they're quite even. Looking back at it, it's still very close in terms of the mid towers. I think they're gonna have to eye out getting a little bit more river control. But I like how Wadu, hopefully CFE Gaming are talking about the Lapu Lapu as, hey, we're gonna blow everything early, but can you save your Bravest Fighter for last?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the finisher to cap off fights.
because they have a different approach to team fights. Luckily, they have a lot of range. They have OP with the traction pulse. They have Boxy to potentially scout things out first if ever it's not entirely going to work for them. But now that you've mentioned it, Wadu is something Boostgate or is someone Boostgate Esports has to pay attention to. I know Xe's doing at least or somewhat the same job. But the thing is,
Uh-oh.
he's going in first. And that CFU Gaming constantly has been able to find ways around to punish.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way that they're playing, right? CFU, in every single one of these neutral fights, they take the fight first and then the neutral after. They want to turn this into a no contest. Right now, they're not in position to do so. They've already cracked the a top tier 1. And Detective is going to start off the taunt onto Xy's side. And now they instantly cancel out the feathered airstrike as they jump back into the fight, moving away to try and make sure that the mud in the water is cleared up. Raging Sandstorm on to 3, followed by the Blazing to 1, on to 2. Boxy is dead, and now Detective must hold. Oppie and Sing move back. A no contest turning a 3 into 1.
The Sharks get whacked by Wachter.
And what did Wachter do? Wait a minute, that was close. I've seen way too many instances of that actually happening. Okay,
An odd occurrence.
okay.
But now we can take a little bit of a breath, right? What
Yeah.
we thought initially was going to turn into a 3, maybe even 4.5k lead, now being swung over entirely.
Yeah, and Wachter, I think he did it twice.
Mhm.
Him just using the quick sand guard in front of 3 members of CFU Gaming, and they're not bothered at all. They can just tank it as much as they want. He has enough ways to deal with it, not even having a Radiant armor.
Mhm.
So even without that, they don't seem to feel the threat of OP just yet.
Yeah. You also see here the reason why Boxy's been falling down real quickly. It took him until now to get his dominance eyes. Of course, he rushes the fleeting time, but then that's not going to do well for you if your team actually doesn't get a snowball lead.
Well, I mean, they have like a 3 to 4, but now the fight continues as the Tsunami Slam has already been Xy finally able to get 1 ult off, but it's not enough as the feathered airstrike can't peel enough. The Oki Shadow Kill will trade at least 1 back. Wadu goes down for Xy.
Yeah, and I guess that's what works for them. If they find the targets first, and that's not going to be a problem even if it's XC. We talked about this earlier. If they have enough damage to deal with it, or if they have enough ways to hold him down before he gets to jump again, then that's an immediate -1 for CFU Gaming. Now it doesn't seem like they'll have much of a problem dealing with this Lord.
Yeah, I hope we get to see Identity though save that feathered airstrike.
Just as you
Just as I say it, or maybe he was just trying to poke back OP, but decided, you know what, not worth it. Detective might be a little bit too close. We might just get chained up here, then we'll have to force our ability. So we just back off. I'm okay with that. Swift Trinity now finally achieved here by Sig, but even before that, he was already a threat. The amount of damage that he dealt with the initial start by Boxy in that big engage before Boostgate got to slightly turn it around. Well, this Moskov now needs to be watched carefully by Kazue, who has been great this game.
Yeah.
Deathless 4-0-2.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, actually, since we're already coming to the 12th minute of the game, I'm curious about the quote-unquote scaling these teams have. Double Trinity Marksman's trying to go. Wait, hold on. Detective doesn't get it. Oh, wait, he's actually getting all right on top of Xy here. It's a bit of an awkward position. Feathered Airstrike now coming up. Xy can peel. He should be okay, but OP is making it hard. Flicker already out. Abraser's Wrath already gone. And back to the question, who scales better?
I have to say that CFU have really good defense, but when it comes to the late portions of the game and when they go all out at once, there's so much damage to be expected from Boostgate Esports, so I might have to give it to them because you've mentioned how they haven't paid much attention to Kazue just yet, but in the few and the rare instances we actually saw Kazue go in, you could expect the amount of damage, or you could see the amount of damage that's coming from him. And it's not like Identity has been landing all these feathered airstrikes on the right targets just yet.
Yeah.
So long as they're able to accomplish that, Boostgate Esports have such a high potential in the late game.
Yeah, you have two heroes at the side of Boostgate who use HP-based damage items. The Lantern, with the DHS as well.
Okay, a bit of an early release of the traction pulse there by OPB. Can definitely see the idea, but look at the waves. The waves are not in their favor, and CFU, seeing that Moskov is on the opposite side, they're looking to get some posture, some territory here by neutral ground.
Okay.
Very close. I was hoping Wadu would hold the bush a little bit more. No one's resetting this?
I think it's going to reset
There we
no
go.
matter what, because Xy's in, Raging Sandstorm. Oh, Flicker as well, with the help of RX in the back line with a feather, already with a feathered airstrike as well, as Wadu is able to take out 2 with RX in between. And now Sing, 1v3, already taking out traction pulse off the one Kazue. He goes down, and Sing has done more than enough to close out this fight.
Sting unfortunately had the flicker when Wactor and RX decided to go for him. There was the Raging Sandstorm, there was the Blazing Duet, but he was able to flicker behind the wall. And now he's able to re-engage and turn things around.
And now they're trying to close out this game. Tsunami Slam already being used onto Wactor, who can't touch the wave. Not even close. Wipeout City and CFU will take game one.
That's how you want to start things off in an Elimination BO3 match. Last year, it was the heartbreak from Moscow. This year, maybe it's the savior of CFU's M7 run. Still, Boostgate could force game number 3, but that is a massive heartbreaking loss. Wadu found the entry in the back to take 2 down quickly and for Sing to finish it up.
I like how I gave my shout outs to Sing before we entered this match. And he surprised us with that game 1 performance. It took some time. It definitely did take some time because of, again, a better laning that we saw perhaps from RX. Although in the first few minutes of the game, definitely would have to give it to Sing. But it's not like it was an instant guaranteed advantage that we saw in the hands of CFU. They had to wait for this moment. They had to work for this moment, and they did not let us down.
I literally think it came down to one mistake because they were on the up and rise. They took the momentum back. They got caught with their pants down. And unfortunately, Identity was just sitting on top of the battle mirror image, which allowed the EXP laner to just cut both of them. So it's just one of those unfortunate events.
Yeah. I think unfortunate is the best way to describe this game because it was going so good for Boostgate. CFU also very competitive. I feel like Wadu found some key moments as well to ensure that CFU Gaming would be able to get a little bit of more control in the game. They're not resting on their laurels. They know that the job isn't finished just yet, but that should feel really good for CFU.
Oh, I bet it does, especially considering looking at the players' faces, they all looked at each other and they're like, that wasn't our cleanest game.
Yeah.
We can do a lot better. Let's just not put ourselves in that position anymore. We can't let them just swing us 4,000.
Yeah, because honestly, that last play that Boostgate went for was something they already did before. It was something they did earlier in that game. So it was in the exact same spot. It was right beside that that single jungle creep, and then
The Golem, yeah.
the golem.
Yeah, the exact same spot.
it's the
You're right.
exact same
Yeah.
spot, and then for some reason, I guess they would, or CFU definitely would not allow that to happen twice because that would
Yeah.
be too much. And they had a lot of ways to get around or to get out of it. Again, I did highlight the flicker that Sing had and used just to get out of the range of both the Blazing Duet, not even the Raging Sandstorm, because he was able to dodge that by himself, by a sidestep. And then he used the flicker to reposition himself once again. And the MVP of that game has to be Wadu, because you mentioned it. He was the guy who jumped towards the backlines, who opened things up for Sing to do his job.
Yeah, 4, 2, and 8, that dive to the back. This is why man marking EXP laners is so important in MLBB. With the sheer damage output, the best EXP laners can dish out. Unfortunately, Boostgate decided to go all in, forgetting about the Lapu Lapu, setting up Wadu for an MVP performance. So let's do this thing now with Brigida.
Yeah, and even earlier, right, there was a rotation coming in from Wadu towards the top lane, which ensured that the BMI was no longer accessible for RX. But if we were to look at the highlights right now, definitely a lot were somehow working out for CFU Gaming in the early stages of the game, because it's not like Kazue has been as active just yet. It's not like they were, or Wactor was able to look for the right timings of the Raging Sandstorm just yet. But it was those moments that Boostgate Esports decided to fight all at once, which kind of shifted things a bit for CFU Gaming. So long as they were just able to hold their key players or their positions down, and similar to what we're seeing right here, Sing, so long as he's not going down immediately, then they definitely have constant ways of turning things around. Because as much as they were forced to use a lot of their resources defensively, I'd like to particularly point out Boxy on the Kalea. It was something that was necessary for them, and it's not entirely something that was bad, because at least they still had resources that they could use differently depending on the needs or depending on how they needed to attack or approach that particular fight. And this was where things turned around. So I wasn't able to entirely capture that last moment or that crucial mistake, you would call it, for Boostgate Esports. But that was, again, all enabled here by Wadu. And I think it's also something we might want to talk about, right? Because we're so used to seeing XC on highlight XP laners and playmakers. And I think we saw that similar approach when he was on the Phoveus. But Boostgate Esports wasn't able to completely follow through.
I think they have miscategorized what this Phoveus is actually supposed to do because XE is playing it as if he is full damage. I'm a 1v5. I'm a sustain through all of it. That's just not true with the build that he's going for. He is raw peel. He is supposed to be the mud on the road that's supposed to stop trucks from getting across, right? And that's the whole idea. But CFU made sure, hey, if XE is here, if we position really, really well, we can actually just CC him to the ground and make the rest of his member think twice. Hey, do we have to re-engage? Hey, do we have to actually just play for our lives and just give XE up? That's the big problem that BGT have. Too many decisions needed to be made, but there's one singular call that they need to learn, and that's play to live. They need to make that call early. There's so many fights where they posture like, oh, should I go back in? XE, should I save? No. Play to win. Let XE die. Save your 4 members.
I think this is one of those times where of course, one of the questions posed earlier was sort of the damage output as the game goes on, Boostgate. And I think they leaned onto that idea way too hard, where there were some times where it's like, yeah, we get it, you have the damage, but you got to protect one of your damage dealers, you got to protect Identity. At the beginning of this, even as we were heading into it, you mentioned that when Identity falls, you see Boostgate start to crumble. And I think that's a little bit more indicative of a sickness that maybe Boostgate needs to patch quickly, which is XC and Wactor cannot be diving and going together at the same time. There needs to be one of them peeling for Identity so that you have a tighter formation with better protection for your back.
They probably wanted to do that a bit more. I think I saw the Winter Crown pickup from XC.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough. Like, they probably weren't able to find the right timings anymore. So
Maybe we'll find out a little bit more info because we actually have an interview with some key figures. So let's listen in on this.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Side Report with Rose. And with Rose, we have with me Z and of course Poji as our translator and our fellow Cambodian friend today. How are you guys doing?
We doing well now. After we lost 2 games and we have 1 meeting.
Oh, 1 meeting. Now, speaking of losing your first 2 games in the Swiss stage, you guys are now in a do or die match, or as we call it, an elimination match. How has the mentality of the players been so far?
We improve a lot after we losing 2 games. We have 1 meeting, and today game we just all in to play.
All into play. I definitely can see the improvements from compared to the previous 2 games that you guys played in the Swiss stage. Now, Z, maybe you can share with us a little bit what happened in the meeting.
This a lot to talk because we lost 2 games. Yes, we all feel sad, and I feel sad for Cambodia fan too that we cannot do well in this past 2 games. And today we just all in and don't let Cambodia fans feel sad too.
Yeah, I think what Z is trying to say is that internally they probably had a heart-to-heart talk with all the players to let them know the worries and the problems internally. Now, Z, you mentioned that you don't want to upset the Cambodian fans.
Yeah.
Now, Z, we know that Cambodia fan base, the region itself, is very passionate in supporting MLBB. How has the fans been treating you guys lately?
Just some Cambodia fan he upset for us because we not doing well in this 2 game. But have a lot of Cambodia fan he's cheering us and supporting us. Write a letter to our page, cheer up us a lot, and I thank you so much.
Very supportive Cambodian fans. Do you agree, Poji? They're very supportive.
Um, Seriously, for me, I've been inside the Facebook group page for CFU Gaming. Most of the fans is really supportive. Plus, they also best of luck, never give up, and make Cambodian proud.
Oh,
That's what happened inside the group right now.
I really love the positive energy that we are receiving from the Cambodian fans. Now, Z, before I let you go off and play game number 2, you guys are 1 win away from avoiding elimination up against Boots Gate Esports. Is there anything you want to say to your teammates or to the Cambodian fans watching at home?
For Cambodian fans, today we will do our best and try our best go to playoff.
All right, thank you very much, Z. I wish you the very, very best in this game. You may now go join your team in preparation for game number 2. And with me right now, we have Poji. Now,
Hello, Bong.
hello, Poji. Now that Z is gone, I want to know a little bit more about CFU. Now, last month, there was a tournament in Malaysia in which Poji was also there at the venue and was consistently hanging out with the Cambodian team. In your perspective, as an outsider, right?
Mhm.
What is the biggest difference with CFU just last month and this month, and why such a shaky start?
ខែមុនវិញពិបាកតិចស្រួលនៅម៉ាឡេដកស្រួលតិចជាមួយមានច្រើនទីមមកពីស្រកផ្សេងឥឡូវនេះនៅ M7 នេះវាពិបាកតិចទាំងអស់ទីមមកពីខ្លាំងស្រកក្រៅនោះមកវាពិបាក maybe ពិបាកចិត្តទាំងអស់ខ្លាំងហួរ
I think I can understand what you said.
Oh is it I'm sorry
So he said that previously, just last month, in the tournament that CFU participated in Malaysia, the teams were not really as big as M7.
True
Oh my God, guys. I'm learning a new language. And now that they're here in M7 with so much bigger teams participating, bigger regions, of course, the players feel a tad bit pressured,
Yes
a tad bit stressed.
មែនទេ
Was that correct?
ត្រូវ
Wow. Okay, guys, we added another language into my resume. And of course, you've covered CFU and the Cambodia region as a reporter before. In your opinion, and right now, how has the fans been like? Like, honestly, are they really as nice as what Z said?
មែនទេនៅទាំងអស់យ៉ាង group នោះទាំងអស់supportive ទាំងអស់ពួកម៉ាក់បងប្អូនម៉ែឪមកទាំងអស់ចាំកុំ give up អីមិនយើងនេះគុនខ្មែរយើងឲ្យឈ្នះឲ្យជាមួយយើងនេះទាំងអស់ពួកស្រកនេះសប្បាយចិត្តយើងចង់ឈ្នះចង់ចាញ់ទេ
So Z was right. They're still very much supportive in the Facebook community group. They are definitely supporting their representative, sending them positive words of affirmation and all that kind of stuff, right?
មែនទេ
Thank you very much, Poji, and thank you for helping me add another language into my resume. And with that, let us go back into the game to find out if CFU Gaming can avoid this elimination match.
What do they feed y'all in Malaysia? You guys have the trilingual king and queen there. Thought it was just Rose, but then Pochi also knows Khmer, English, and Bahasa.
Yeah, he does. And
Does he know a fourth language?
that's what I'm trying to figure out, because Rose is learning a new one, so that would make her a quadrilingual. Is that I don't know how that one works, but that's
Let's go four lingual, so it's easier for us.
four linguals for sure. But that's definitely a homoy Mao moment for sure.
Yeah, oh my mouth, man. Poji knowing Khmer was not on my book.
Of course. Oh, by the way, I forgot to pass you this earlier. I borrowed it all of yesterday for it.
Why is it? What's with this weird texture?
It's a different case. It's a different case, man. It's the real me. It's what I look like on the inside.
What did you do with this? phone?
What does it feel like?
Whoa!
Feels
What
like-
have you been using the AI for?
Hey,
Oh.
don't show that on camera. 'Cause
Okay.
Personally, I use it to, find the win weight predictions. I can analyze gold items and everything in real time, all thanks to the AI without having to think much about it. It's like having a strategic coach in your pocket, and that's the AI gaming coach for you. But it doesn't stop just there, Renmar, because let me tell you, when the fight breaks out, its consecutive skill features let you unleash a perfect preset combo with just one tap. It guides your strategy and elevates your execution. That's a full AI-powered edge.
Whoa.
All right. I know some people got sick of seeing me on camera for a while, so Brigida, can you hold this real quick?
Wait, what?
Hold
There you
that.
go.
Hold that. Stare into that single cam.
Look at that camera right over there.
All right. From prediction to performance, it's the complete package. You play, we carry. Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone.
Did I act that out?
That was
Right.
perfect. That was perfect. That's gonna get all the clips, all of
So
the
glad.
clips. Because let me tell you,
That was it.
because of all these clips people have been doing, I had no time to do the battle pass.
Yeah, man. The Battle Pass has been on since New Year's. I know some of us were probably, way too full to even move out of bed, but it's filled with epic rewards. Granger's Thunder Ascendant Epic Skin, the Cosmic Finality Prime Skin, the M7 figurine, battle effects, Prime Avatar border, and more. We may be including a potential meet and greet with Brigida
Oh,
as part of the. That's actually not true.
No, it's
Sorry
not
about
true.
that. Sorry about
but
that.
I want to say it. I want to say it.
Okay,
Can I
go
say
for
it?
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite heroes this season. Plus, you can get Katotkacha's Solar Spark for free. I already got it. Fan favorite M5
Nice.
Yuzhong skins and revamped M Championship skins are also making a limited time return. So don't miss out on all the wonderful rewards. What I love about this Katotkacha skin is that the joystick looks different. The basic attack buttons look different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a special skin.
Yeah.
Neat.
Is it just locked to the skin? But I think they're including more of that in different packages in game where you can change like how some
Yeah,
of
the
the UI
presets.
color looks. Yeah, the
Mhm.
presets, really cool. And if you want a free skin, just log in for 13 days between January 9th and 31st server time to unlock Edith's Verdant Night completely free. It's that easy. Just log in. Don't miss out. I still keep missing out on it. I keep missing out on the button I actually need to press to claim it.
We just
Wait.
used Edith earlier today.
Yeah, we
did.
played games earlier today and I still missed out on it somehow.
Yeah. Not to mention that there's a big red dot where the event button actually
Yeah.
is. It's like, please click me. It's that easy.
I don't know why I'm not doing it, but hey, let's look at the draft. Boostgate and CFU game number 2. I think CFU, it works out well for them if they play towards a more, how do I call this? Standard approach front to back. It works out well for them. Yeah, they're susceptible to just getting dove on, but it looks like with Wadu being as locked in as he is, EXP laners are usually the saving grace of the front to back lineup
Yeah.
because they're the ones that can dive the opponent.
Speaking of which, I do want to kind of talk about specifically the wild cards, right? Because that's a lot of information, and luckily with Fezet, we did get a bit of a idea of what he was thinking. It's like I think we revealed too much data during the wild cards, which could be a disadvantage for us, but we accept that and will continue to work with what we have. We're confident.
Yeah, because I think it was something we kind of mentioned earlier too before heading into this match, and I think he confirmed that that might have been the case for a lot of teams that they previously went up against, and it would be sad if that's gonna be the same outcome in this series and they're not able to completely adapt. But this is Coach Tezet, and what we saw from Boostgate's draft really wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's again an in-game error that we were able to highlight in game number 1. But this is a complete reset for
Yep.
both of them, and we could start anew.
It really was. And especially in game 1 when we saw the counter index, it was literally 0.4, negative 0.4 and positive 0.4. Really not much of a difference.
So, CFU, if you can, just tighten up your formations and team findings and your man marking. Already heavily well into the draft. We're straight up in the first pick for CFU. I wouldn't mind if they just get the Kalea again, honestly. It worked out well for them, and they look comfortable with it. Oh! But this time they're going to be going for the Cloud Rush instead.
I actually like this a lot, considering that Wactor was, again, trying to control the earlier stages of the game by actually looking to clear out a majority of these waves and still looking to harass. Obviously, can't do much specifically against Detective, but people like Sing, for an example, people like Boxy definitely felt that pressure.
Wait, is CFU trying to bait Boostgate into picking up a Fanny?
Cause that's the thing.
Because Fanny's open, they first pick Claude.
Because if they really want to play family, then it's just
They're-
going to be Kalia Fanny here,
Kalia
right?
Fanny, so that's gonna limit them a bit. And there's still a Yisun Shin Fredrin if they wanted to consider those other junglers. But yeah, Kazuha is known for the assassins.
Let's see what's this going to be. It's going to be the Farsa again, all right? Rather bold to show Farsa. They also get rid of the God Thought, which I think at least from the POV of Wadu, he's like, give it to me again. Give me a Yuzong, give me a Arlet, give me a Lapu. I'll do it.
Yeah, or maybe they could potentially consider it in Red 3 once they see a bit more of what CFU wants to pick up.
Yeah. Now they have the Claude here. We'll see if you end up picking up a lineup that leans heavily towards the mid to the late game. Although now with Claudes, they are much more active, faster. I think that's one of the best things about the DHS changes. Instead of just being lane locked to waiting for the Trinity, as long as you got the DHS, you can get out of the lane. You can start joining, do a double lane, and then you can even join the Turtle fights by Turtle 2, Turtle 3. So I think you mentioned some of the best EXP laners are used, Alapu, Arlot, all of them great options that they can pick up now.
Yeah, so they don't get banned out. Although the Uranus show will be the option instead for CFU. Not a lot of
I have a sneaking suspicion. Oh, I don't know if that sneaking suspicion is going to be correct now that the instant carry lock-in is going to come in from the side of BGT. I'm thinking whether or not Detective is like, let's do a bit of a throwback in some few seasons. One season ago.
So this is Detective's hero?
It could be. I don't know, because I don't see the way that it synergizes with the rest of the comp. Usually the big indicators would be like having a Farsa, having an Eve, somebody that has magic, has burst, or some form of peel, and you just slow them down and strip away their MR.
Oh, so this is like Boostgate having to think about whether or not they still want to target heroes for Wadu, because this might not actually be Wadu's hero. And if they don't consider that, then he'll just have access to more.
And then you have a shafted EXP, right? It's rock in a hard place. That's what they want to set up. Is Lunox is the next ban coming in for BGT.
Oh.
If ever see if you want to lean toward the possibility of this Uranus going into the jungle, I'd want to see them pair it up with a Valentina, because they need that extra bit of control that she can dish out with the Terrifies. Yeah, you're not going to have a great time in the range department, but then you'll have a lot of control. Just put the concussive blast there onto the Cho, then that'll help balance you out in terms of you getting prio in the mid. I'd want to see them also take out the Kimmy here. Oh wait, no, they don't need to because there's already Farsa on the other side. So yeah, they're fine.
Oh, now there you go. Taking out the Fanny.
This is really good. If Tamago really like thought about this from beginning to the end, he's probably a genius, because I think he's figured out that there is a bit of a pattern with, hey, we show really tanky boy, and now that we've taken Claude, you have to go carry. There's just no other options, right? And then now they're forced to take Purify alongside with it because the Cho has already been locked in, and this could have been a Kalia. So the real question is, why was the Cho over the Kalia in the first place, unless we are looking to flex?
Yeah, I mean, they saw they got the catch already. You'd want to be able to match the healing and the Purify. Maybe they are going to be flexing this Cho.
So many questions for CFU. Now they take out the Kimmy as well. So maybe now we might get to see a more unique or uncommon mid lane pick come into play for CFU.
Novaria,
There's
Lilia.
because the Jushin, Eve, Farsa's
The classics are all gone.
Yeah, look at that pure target. Even with the Uranus on their side, they didn't need to ban out the YSS anymore, but they just decided, nope, because the way you're going to have to show something else, man. You're playing a completely different hero. And if he ends up going with something unique, play him more.
No, I think this is a mistake. I think this is not, as much as we've seen a decent overall performance from Leomords, I think right now the most useful that he could have gone for was probably the Fredrin in this case, right? So far, there's not a lot of big damage dealers other than this Claude so far. But then CFU, the mid laner pool has been limited down to things like Lilia, things like Novaria. It's either she's going to be completely outside of the fight, away from your range, or there's a potential punish that's waiting to happen. But we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. You mentioned it, the Lilia, the Novarias, those are the other options still available. They're
Oh, what if they go Kadita?
Kadita. For the Farsa, I think that works.
Not bad. I don't hate the plan.
There's a Kagura too, if they want it. Oh, there you go.
Really good call. Really good call. When you see Uranus, you're thinking magic, whatever you can really double down on.
Yeah.
With Joy and Kadita, I'm liking CFU's composition, but it's all based on that momentum, right?
And it's a Cho Kadita, so no one's safe if you're Boostgate Esports here, if they get to find the right targets. It's an EXP laner we're looking at.
Yeah, only the Filipinos are going to get the reference that I'm about to say, but see if you are about to take Boostgate to a Filipino vacation to Splash Island. Shout out to the Filipinos on the broadcast. I know you guys are there.
Yeah, you could search it if you're not Filipino.
Yeah.
XP lane options are still so open. Everything we mentioned are there. They just go for the safest one.
Like a Phobius? Yeah. Well, that makes sense. You see the Joy, you pick up the Phobius, you have the dashes activated through. I'm leaning a little bit more towards CFU for this one, but both of these lineups to me are like, if any one of us mess up in the first big fight, maybe around Turtle 1 or 2, then we're just gonna completely lose it.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna have to crawl back.
Personally, I think it's a lot easier for BGT to kind of snowball out of control. CFU, they need those skills specifically onto Detective, specifically onto Oppie, to make sure that they can just chain their ults to always get those kills.
Yeah. Though, there you go. RX will be picking up the Purify. Identity does not, though. So I think it's going to be quite tough for him to make sure that he doesn't get caught by either the Way of the Dragon, the knockups of the Jeet Kune Do, or the Breath of the Ocean.
Boostgate are on the brink of elimination while CFU holding on to match point. This could be their best shot, their best chance to end it here now and avoid a game number 3. Boostgate needs to protect their identity if they want to stand strong.
Very early on, we see that at least both junglers are going to be starting on the same side of the map as the side laners now taking early engagements, which is exactly what you want to see. Boxy already putting down low as Oppie hits level 2.
Oh, that's a fast clear. Rotation probably coming in for CFU Gaming, but if it's just fast rotations we're talking about, then that's a farce that you're up against. So at this point in the game, Boostgate Esports can definitely be the more aggressive team, especially if they're constantly able to scout where Boxy and Oppie are like this, forcing them to recall even. So this is something they probably want to take advantage of, but wait.
I think this is exactly what they want, right? BGT understand that, hey, actually we have better wave clear because it's a 2v2 lane. Double, concussive blast on both of these supports as well. Not to mention that generally Gothot is going to clear slightly faster than Cho, who hasn't put himself in danger.
Yeah, because the way that CFU Gaming were able to fast clear that mid wave was a bit forced if you were to look at it.
I'm so surprised that Wacker was not able to connect with the taunt. That should have been a kill. Luckily, I mean, or at least minimum a flicker. That's totally true as well.
And actually was able to get the EXP from the crab, and now CFU Boxy has to watch out for his timing when he's going to use the dashes, because X is going to have a field day in the big team fights with the Joy and the Cho around.
And I think right now the poke is so important from Oppie. Oh wait, full commitment actually. Summoning Barbiel to get right on top of Oppie. Breath of the Ocean into Petrify as well. Doesn't connect just yet. But with Barbiel, the extra stats is useful. Wacker about to go down. Revitalize keeps him alive and puts Detective down to 1/4 of his HP. A statement said, expectations not met just yet.
Could have been so much better for Boostgate. I think they clearly wanted to get Oppie without this level 4 yet.
Feathered Airstrike already out as well as Rough Waves. It's going to be a little bit of a dance as Identity tries and holds on to his last 2 shots of Feathered Airstrike. Wadu still existing, being frustrating as Identity stuns him and moves away. It's going to be an early Purify here from Wadu on top of the concentration, but still, Boostgate Esports takes the very first turtle.
Yeah, Detective just decides to trade and take some enemy jungle camps from that. Not too much of a significant lead just yet. But this is where I feel like Boostgate might want to be a bit more cautious. At least they have the advantage now, but then CFU Gaming, they're really being keen on looking and holding these bushes where they could pass through. So fortunately, the rotations have been working out for them so far. Wow.
I like the aggression.
Yep.
I like he's not allowing Wachter to get into any good, comfortable position, and now the pressure is onto RX.
I think most people, especially for those casuals who are looking to get into professional MLBB, 80% of the game is really just posturing for better positions than your opponent. And I think that's something that most people need to get behind.
There you go.
Good position, good kick, but instantly canceled out the second half. Thank God for Wachter. Identity saved.
Fortunately.
I think that little snapshot gives me an idea as to why Identity chose not to go for the Purify, because he knows that the clock can easily come in. He'd rather reposition.
Breath of the Ocean straight away, full combination with the Rough Waves. Oppie finds another kill, and this Feathered Airstrike is looking less and less impactful for the first 4 minutes of this game.
There's so much control between the Cho and the Kadita together. Identity gets away.
I'm surprised the detective actually didn't want to go further to
Yeah.
trade out against Identity, but I think he saw Kazaway just at the edge of his screen.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not worth the trade.
Yeah, Boxy was there to scout him out too. They're holding the brushes really, really well. So whatever you mentioned about Boost Gate and their rotations earlier on seems to hold true. Basic duet already used by Sing.
Yeah.
Alt for alt.
I think at this point, I really don't want to see the carry Claude matchup anymore because it's just very clear all the Claudes just win against that carry.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can really do about it, especially now that he gets the hybrid lifesteal. So it's like trading is even crazier.
Oh, okay. Boxy still has the flicker, by the way. So if he did want to go for a target, then he might actually be able to reach for whoever that is.
I think Boxy was called off, but now this next upcoming fight is about to occur. Concentration has already been gone through as Wadu is trying to peel them off behind a edge. Detective instantly takes out Lee's Identity, gets Wactor as well, making it look easy as the entire front line ditches their mid laners. And as you can see, CFU gonna do whatever they want as they chain CC to the ground. Boxy ends up getting disrespected, and finally Detective getting a killing spree. 3 kills for him in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but Boxy standing there in front of Boostgate Esports was so deceptive because it wasn't actually him who was planning to start things off. It was Detective who just went in straight for the kill onto Identity, and everything else followed after that. So Boostgate Esports, they have more than 1 or 2 problems to think about.
I appreciate Wactor for trying to protect Identity.
Yeah.
At the end, the CFU just with their toolkit, a little bit more mobility, a little bit more annoying to catch out. It's the Kadita and the Joy. One taunt is going to be so difficult to land, so I really can't blame Wactor for not landing it.
Yep, that's why you got to deny space, and why Boostgate needed an early lead to be able to dictate the game. Because CFU Gaming, they're setting up tolls at every single intersection of this map, and Boostgate can't walk away without at least paying the price.
Yeah, so far it's only been Boxy that's been the sacrifice for CFU Gaming, and that's okay. That's all good. Oh, that's another. Yeah, I could feel the nerf. You know,
Those are the 2 overly aggressive guys at the club who are just like, what? Who's going to flinch first? Unfortunately, there was actually Wactor and Boxy was just like, all right, cool story, bro.
I mean, both of them refuse to give up the space. Feather airstrike getting called early on. I mean, yes, he'll come back up. Wait, hold on. They're going even further, forcing the rough waves early from OP. Okay, wait, hold on, because now 40 seconds till the next turtle actually spawns an Xe. Force the flicker out as Detective wants to dive him. They could still dive him if they wanted to. Running out of that passive, but Kazaway is nearby. Wadu forced the ult, and now Detective must commit an all-in. Doesn't connect on his last dash, though.
Boostgate Esports, it seems like they really are trying to target OP down, but that highlight or that exchange we saw in the bottom lane really was something. Okay.
Yeah, lots of deterrence being thrown at that Kadita. The moment you see it feathered airstrike, I don't care. They just want to take out the ultimate as soon as possible.
Yeah, in the wings by wings towards the Kadita after. Oh, speaking of the Kadita.
One shot. All right, item list. We need to see the item list. What's going on here?
Bro, that's busted.
That was so much more damage than I thought it was going to be.
It's Genius Wand Rush, and then he also had Rupture with him.
Oh my goodness. And now we get into the next fight as Wactor. Again, he's already revealed all 4 members. And Speed already coming out. And then airstrike as well. As Zing gets right on top of Identity. Force the flicker away into 3 as Kazaway gets kicked right into the middle of the fight. RX takes out Boxy at the very least. And that's going to be it. Kazaway, does he manage to survive? RX takes out Sing as well. And mega kill for Detective Wactor. The final man to fall down as Wadu picks up the skull. 2 for 2 trade.
That shouldn't have been a 2 for 2, but RX stood strong in that bush and got Boxy and Sing.
Yeah, you know what they say about the carry and the Claude when it's just a basic attack matchup that we're seeing, and without the Blazing Duet, RX definitely could have dealt with him. Oh, but hold on, here in the top lane.
The dive, and he's gone. Electrifying beats just to show who's the boss.
I feel so bad for Identity this series. CFU Gaming have not been letting him play.
Yeah, we did kind of float around the idea of why he chose the Flicker over the Purify. But if they're not able to play as aggressively or anticipate what CFU Gaming is planning to do, then it's gonna be all the more difficult that he finds the purpose in this flicker choice. Oh, another flicker.
Really good way of the dragon into the flicker, into the rough waves, petrify, follow up, perfect chain CC as Identity is able to take one and back in Detective, getting it shut down for himself as XC flickers the wrong direction. No, out of range, unable to pick up the most important kill.
Or did the Dark Wave actually land, but there was just not
did.
enough damage?
Yeah, again, they flickered in different directions here. Blazing Duet.
It's good enough, 50% of their HP in a mid turret down.
Identity and RX couldn't do anything, not even with the amount of range that they had, as they stood under that tier 1 turret in an attempt to defend it from CFU Gaming. This is a 3k gold lead that we're just talking about. But even without all this, like the burst damage that you could already expect, OP and Detective, the magic damage, and that's without Sing going into Blazing Duet.
Yeah, speaking about burst, Identity just built up his first main damage item. He had to go for Blood Wings first and just built up the Lightning Truncheon. So maybe now we're going to start to feel even more damage from this Farsa, not just on the squishier members of CFU Gaming. But the problem is he cannot get into position. Detective has been stellar with his entry timings.
Yeah, I mean, but look at the items so far. I mean, double Genius Wands, right? One from OP, one from Detective. Even the MR doesn't feel that great. As Wadu, once again, he's back on the peel. He doesn't mind going toe-to-toe against XC here, especially when Sing is right behind him. Look at that. XC getting put down at 10% of his HP as the Feathered Airstrike is forced out just to save his life. This is going to be a no contest very soon, but look at the position of OP. No, it's about to happen. And now RX trying to live. Electrifying Beats was more than enough. And Kadena is out of there. OP, oh my God, he tried to outplay it, but the animation was too long.
And the passive was there to make sure that OP went down before he could have even casted the rough waves. So now Identity actually picks up the kill, but that's the Lord, and that's of CFU Gaming.
Brother OP, you did not need to enter anymore.
He was...
Detective did the job. He was aight, bro. Okay, fight for the purple buff. Kazooie gets his own.
Oh, they should be able to walk out of here, but now the Feathered Airstrike is being committed as well. The Purify nicely used by Wadu, and he survives the damage despite the empowered autos as he chases them back. Oh no, the mouse turns into the cat. Predator now turned into prey as they hold their ground into the mid lane. Notice that the orange buff is being stolen away as well as getting shoved from the top side. The continuous back and forth. Nobody will give up the territory.
Who was that zigzag walk from Wadu that we saw earlier? He was walking side to side and...
Hey, Uranus doesn't walk, he floats.
Oh, he floated zigzag.
Yes.
Attempting his best rendition of Thriller.
Kazooie couldn't even catch him, not even with Barbiel.
Yeah, they really need to give him a little more like movement speed when he's on Barbiel. I'm gonna be perfectly honest here. It does feel kind of slow sometimes without the Hunter Strike, but now that he's got the BRB as well as the Hunter Strike, things should even up, especially if they're low.
Oh no, that's a Wind of Nature pickup for Sing as well.
I take it back.
So he might be a bit more confident going in.
I get it because the Leomord, but I wish he packed Winter Crown instead.
And even so, Boxy is still trying to look for angles. Really good defense coming in from Boostgate Esports. They're really taking advantage of their wave clear due to Identity and even Wacker making sure that the space is going to be uncontested.
Yeah, my guess is because RX, like we saw the mini 1v1s that he's been having with RX, and when it's you're against the carry and it comes to the basic attacks, it's just so hard to win against that. So maybe he's banking on that idea if it ever comes down to that, but does that...
Ouch, ouch.
Ooh,
He's gone. Goes forward with BMI right into Blazing Duet and in straight to the electrifying beats. Every ult under the sun, 4 members dead. Didn't even need to do much of my job to make that one happen.
Yeah.
That's the CFU. What a decisive fight.
Boxy making sure that Detective was able to walk out safely too by tanking the turret shots. It might just be it.
There it is. Right at the very end. Unbelievable. CFU, for what looked to be a stalemate, turned it to an overwhelming victory.
CFU survives. And unfortunately, Boostgate from the wild card will now have to say goodbye. The Sharks dormant no more. In a plot twist that even Agatha Christie herself couldn't write, it was Detective who did it It was him all along.
Detective who we thought would be on the Uranus, but no.
Oh,
It was Wadu
I'm
using it.
I'm so glad he didn't have to go back to like, I have to use Raiders in the jungle. This
Yeah.
time, really, really well thought draft from CFU from every single aspect. And of course, Boxy just showing his veterancy in the angles and opportunities he creates for CFU.
And weren't we looking for M6CFU to come back? Because this did feel very much like it. I'm not just talking about the Joy, because the Joy definitely was a pick during the M6, but the way and the manner that they just executed this game, even though there were some small plays which were a bit questionable, but it looked rather funny because they were way too ahead to make such crucial mistakes, like
Yeah.
the one that OP did.
That's definitely one of those moments where it's just like, come on, detective.
Couldn't you have told me a little bit sooner? I want. It's. Oh, why is it the first highlight? Oh no!
Right there. Do it.
Here we go.
Just wanted the participation award. It's just like, I couldn't
Yeah.
read it.
I feel like for Opie, those like, man, I don't care. We won. We're still in M7, man. You can clown me all you want, but I'm still here. And he definitely did show up there in the end, eventually getting the double kill, ending it with 5-1-5. I like the Kadita. Once it showed up, I was like, yeah, this is probably the doom for Boostgate, because it was clear. It seems like CFU already knew just how important identity was to every moment that Boostgate likes to play the game. They said, let's just pick all the picks and we'll mess up this Forza.
That's why I was thinking whether or not, like, after seeing the arenas, maybe lean into, like, yeah, sure, you're giving away the Farsa, but, like, take a Purify, take a Lilia, call it a day, you know?
Fortunately, we'll have to say goodbye to Boostgate. But now we're gonna pass you on over to the stage for an interview.
Nurse interview. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for CFU Gaming! A team that has made it out of the elimination match today. And with me here on stage, we have OP and Detective. Hello once again, boys. Let's start with OP first. OP, how do you feel after finally winning a match after losing 2 of your first matches in the Swiss stage?
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាវាធម្មតានិយាយមែនបងធម្មតាព្រោះអីចាំឈ្នះទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងបានរៀងសប្បាយចិត្ត
He said that I feel normal because like we just winning or if we continue winning and get to the playoff, yeah, we'll be more happy.
I agree, but you know, step by step, small steps is all it takes. OP, you say you feel normal after winning the match, but how did you feel coming to the match today? Did you feel excited? Did you come with full spirits?
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាឈ្នះនៅថ្ងៃហ្នឹងគឺជាបានន័យថាវាគឺជា power មួយសម្រាប់ team ឲ្យយើងមានកម្លាំងប្រកួតនៅម៉ាច់ក្រោយ
For the win today, I have we have more powerful like momentum and continue for the next round.
Yeah, I did see the shift in momentum coming from CFU Gaming, especially just now since we interviewed Z. He said that you guys had a heart-to-heart talk prior to this match. And of course, Detective, we've seen that you have been trying to somewhat adapt to the current meta. What are your thoughts about this?
I'm not really adapting because I can play any meta.
Oh, you don't have to adapt because you can play any meta. Now, if you don't mind, I just want to ask a little bit because just last month we were together in Kuala Lumpur, right? And in that tournament, you guys placed top 2. And coming into this tournament, you guys were a little bit shaky. And based on my interview just now with Poji, he said that it could be due to the reason that you guys perhaps felt a little bit more pressured coming into this tournament, or what is it really?
I think that not really because it has been a long time since the last tournament. It's just that teams in M7 is a lot stronger.
People have been definitely stepping up.
Yes.
You know what, Detective? OP, you guys have survived an elimination match. How about give a thing or two to our Cambodian fans watching at home?
ទៅកាន់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដំបងឡើយសូមទោសដែលមួយថ្ងៃមុនធ្វើអត់បានល្អតែគ្រាន់ថ្ងៃនេះគឺភាសាឡើងហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាស្អែកទៅវានឹងល្អជាងនេះទៀតតែខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណទៅដល់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលនៅតែមានទំនុកចិត្តលើពួកខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាពួកខ្ញុំនឹងមិនធ្វើឲ្យអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាខកចិត្តឡើយ
Okay, so we are sorry for the previous match that we did not do very well, and we hope that you are for the fan back home, you are forgiving us, and we hope to do better in the next round.
Thank you very much to CFU. Once again, congratulations to Detective and OP. And without further ado, let us throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this clean sweep series.
Well, according to a detective, it's not a matter of evolution and adaptation. They are very ready to do just that. Of course, another prolific win here for CFU Gaming, still retaining their slot in M7. Great effort once again for Boostgate, and a show of love from the Indonesian crowd here, of course, for CFU.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fans being converted here within Indonesia because, again, with a game like that and with a spectacular ending, every ult was able to get a kill. That just feels so good.
Yeah, and I'm loving the confidence from CFU so far because you would have thought that they'd feel a bit more, I don't know, low spirits after what they've been through in the Swiss stage. But hearing from Detective how it doesn't matter what the meta is because he could play any meta, it seems like they're still there.
This Joy was a menace.
Oh, dude, let me tell you about Joy getting with the changes to Genius Wand in particular. It feels so good when you get that first kill. It snowballs so quickly out of control. He got a Holy Crystal like nearing to like 6 to 7 minutes. That's how quick he was getting these items.
Yeah, and that highlight play he did towards the end where he just went in, you would have thought it's too deep in, but he had the winter crown.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone just helped him get out of the turret. Boxy standing, taking third shots, and then he just walked out of it safely after getting, what, 2 or 3 kills off of Boostgate Esports. So this Joy had damage that Boostgate could not handle at all. That's not even including the Karita that, you know, missed.
Yeah, it went by way too fast. I like how CFU just leaned in on the idea of like, let's end this quick. They were confident. They knew that they could just jump on Boostgate. You had 3 major damage dealers in terms of magic. Yes, I count the Uranus there. So, Brigida, is there something that you'd like to share with us?
I'm trying to look at. Oh, this was that one play we saw earlier where it was just as if that Boxy was looking for a target, but he actually was not. He was just probably getting the information necessary for Detective and OP to go in at the perfect and the exact same time. And that's where CFU Gaming clearly started to start snowballing and getting the advantage again and again. And in this particular moment, I feel like we started to feel how Identity couldn't really activate himself because there was just too much reach from CFU again. And this is Sing joining in early on. That was a mini 1v1 that we would call it that they had earlier, but it still converted into a kill for RX, so it doesn't matter either way. And it's just constant reassurance, I guess, that you get from your teammates that Boxy,
Hey, you're doing great.
all of those, right? That's right. I wish I could hear them say that. It's all these. I called them overextensions earlier when they weren't able to really pull it off, but now it doesn't seem to be that way. It seems like every single play that Boxy does is actually rewarded. And this is the CFU that we've all been waiting for. I couldn't press because like it is what is it, as Lafel would say.
Yep,
But
it is what is it.
It is what is it. But it is what is it for Boostgate Esports and CFU. I'm excited to see how they're going to carry this momentum from this point onwards.
I think again, very fair points all across the board. I think the biggest thing for me looking at a game like that, considering how much BGT actually had a pretty decent chance in the early games, and we're responding accordingly to the mid trio pressure. It's just that at the end of it, right, you're hoping for too much. Oh, I'm taking flicker so that Wactor is able to protect me.
Yeah.
Your composition is compromised. There's no going around that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said heading into the game, Boostgate needed to protect their identity. That was a double meaning, but really, you can take it as literal as possible. Just protect the Farsa, please.
Yeah.
But they couldn't. It's with what they drafted into, or more specifically, let's look at how CFU drafted it. they just overloaded all of the options that we BJ, I almost said Tigatron, Boostgate had to look at and go, how do we stop this? Who do we peel?
No, because Exy, I don't think you could give him the job of protecting. So definitely that's out. Wactor, you can, but the unbreakable nerf again. I think we felt it in this game because the main or one of the main jobs that he had to do was protect. So whenever there were surprise dives or let's say flickers coming in from either Boxy or even OP, there wasn't enough reaction time, I feel, that you could charge the distance of the unbreakable far enough so you could actually catch these targets or at least deny them. There were moments where we did see it, but that was just like one or two out of the many engages that CFU went for.
I mean, if we're looking about participation, right? Team fight participations, we can see that again. Most of these fights are actually above the 50%, with the only exception being Exy because Wadu just completely shut him down. He didn't let him leave the lane. He didn't let him leave the lane without punishment. He made him lose a significant amount of minions, especially during neutral objective fights. And worst yet, he was basically unkillable in the lane. So Exy just could not do much.
Yeah. Great shutdown of a Boostgate by CFU. Across the board, it seems like they went into this with a very intentional draft. They knew we're picking these heroes because these are the very specific things we need from them. How to shut down Boostgate, from the laning to the rotations, everything. So this really would have just been a massive climb for Boostgate. So let's say thank you to some friends.
Yeah, dude. You know, I've been thinking a lot, right? Especially about diamonds, because my card doesn't work these days to like upload my diamonds.
Yeah. So please, can we get you know the drill. This is what I usually like to do when it's me running the show here. Hey, what do you like about Visa the most, Brigida?
What I like about Visa the most, especially when I travel,
Yeah. When you go around Europe,
is that I just get to do this.
You mean when you rotate around Europe, you get to upgrade each of your packages on every single continent out there?
The early rotation, the upgrade path, you map out the skin you unlock that makes your hero feel like yours. Those little choices set everything in motion. And when those moments hit, you want nothing slowing you down. That's why your unlocks, your upgrades, and every step in between stay fast and secure, keeping your game in rhythm and giving you smooth access to everything you need, both in-game and beyond. All brought to you by the official payment partner of the M7 World Championship, Visa. Be the champion you want to be.
Hey, Gideon, if Visa walked up to you right now and gave you a card with like 100,000 money,
USD?
Crazy
What?
dollars.
What's the first thing you would buy? I forgot the name of your currency. I'm sorry.
The first thing that I would buy is definitely going towards the M7 pass just to get Gato Gacha, because who doesn't like not only free stuff, but the fact that I can actually boost my level with the help of the little support chest, because at level 45 is when you get that Solar Spark skin. So keep leveling up and claim your reward. Don't miss it out here today.
Please get this Gatot skin. It's one of the best skins ever. There are like in-game changes that you get to see. So please do get the Gatot Gacha.
We're begging you. Get it. And hey, here's one thing you should remember about life. When you rise up in life, things open up for you. MRO. MRO Season 5 is back. Still open to everyone and flexible to join now with major upgrades. You get hero power based on victories. Good stuff. Team up with your friends. Don't go 5v1 alone because you're doing it wrong if you do it that way. So rewards, there's a lot of them. Win or lose, you can earn MRO coins to redeem permanent skins, exclusive avatar borders, and more. I can read, just not particularly well. Climb the weekly championship to qualify for the championship with bigger prizes and keep the M7 passion alive. Coming up next, we have got Evil versus Aurora Gaming Turkey. Do you think back-to-back heartbreaks for Turkish fans, or is Aurora gonna run away with this?
I hate it. They always pose the tough questions. I like Turkey. Singapore used to be brothers, and as much as I say I don't like them, we're still very close neighbors. So it's a, older brother, little brother situation.
You were right with your prediction in the first series, though. You were the only one who actually went for CFU. I think I will be going for Aurora Turkey in the second series, though.
Well, I'm leaning a bit more towards Aurora with this one, but hey, maybe Evil will prove us wrong and bring a little bit more hype towards the Singaporean fans out there, of course, with their newest representatives no longer NIP Flash. It's Evil. I just love saying it. So when we come back, it's them against Aurora Gaming from Turkey. So please stick around. Once again, my name is Renmar. That's Gideon. That's Brigida. And we are going to be seeing you in just a little bit. Deuces. See you around. Bye-bye.
New Mate 15 Pro M7 official gaming foam.
Nothing can withstand the withering. Against the endless erosion, my strength grew weaker by the day.
True power dwells within the spirit. Try to embrace all that you are. Are your M4 world champions, winning the game, getting the checkmate, setting everything up right now.
Are going to the M7 World Championship.
Let's go.
Futbol uğraşıyordum, futbolcu olmak istiyordum. Ama pandemi girdikten sonra futbola ara verdim. Birazcık da Mobile Legends oynamaya başladım o zamanlar yani yaklaşık.
Que nosotros empezamos desde la MDL, la ganamos, después subimos a la MPL, también la ganamos y ahora estamos en el Mundial y también esperamos ganar.
I think Team Zone is underdog in M7. Nobody expected us to be here.
Evo was once a dark horse, and we break through the expectation of everyone.
They broke history.
Even though we are coming in as a newcomer, we are not just coming in here for experience.
We know we have power. That's all. We are good.
Nosotros somos el equipo Dark Horse.
Who do I think will be the dark horse? A bit of a Malaysian bias, but I would say CG for sure.
I'll lean more towards Yangon Galactic. I don't think anyone really is expecting CG to be a threat.
Kita orang bukan dark house. Kita orang cuma pendatang baru.
ကျွန်တော်ကတော့အဲ့လိုတော့မထင်ဘူးအများကြီးပြင်ဆင်နေတယ်တော့ကြောင့်မလို့ပွဲလေးကြရင်အကောင်းဆုံးပုံစံနဲ့ဆော့ရသွားမှာချပြသွားမှာလို့ချက်တော့စောင့်ကြည့်သေး
Sebab kita orang ni suka invade orang, macam orang memang gaduh tak berhenti.
ညီရဥအောင်ချတယ်ပေါ့အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ gracious ဆိုတာတော့ကြာ
Agresif, kenapanya? Karena suka perang. Karena kalau misalkan bermain agresif, musuh bakal kena pressure duluan.
មូលហេតុដែលពួកខ្ញុំចូលចិត្តលេង aggressive ដោយសារពួកខ្ញុំកាលមុនគឺមើល player ខ្លួនឯងនីមួយៗហើយគិតទៅថាអ្នកគឺដៃខ្លាំងមែនតើអញ្ចឹងលេង aggressive គឺត្រូវ
我们战术打法、无规则打法，有对手可能研究不透我们吧。
We are not that serious. We just playing for fun because it helps us not get pressure. If you play for real, we get a high pressure international.
可以打进世界赛的关键之一是早睡早起，保持好身体。
Siguro determination lang din talaga and focus sa sarili kasi doon nalalabas siguro yung pagiging consistent sa paglalaro.
Our secret in our veterans in our team. Enemies need to respect us.
Strong mentality and discipline because it's all about out of the game. King teams for me are gaming us.
Siguro para masabi kong king yung team or legends, siguro meron muna silang MSC title and M-World title.
Kalau dibilang tim raja, enggak lah.
The Sky Kings have been taken down.
Kita belum layak lah dipanggil raja. Ya, back to back dulu lah semuanya, baru bisa dianggap tim raja.
Tingin ko isa kami sa mga king teams kasi sobrang dami na namin pinanalo na tournaments and sobrang dami na namin na-achieve ng magkakasama. Sa tingin ko kapag na-achieve na namin yung Golden Road, hindi na siguro king team yung tawag sa amin, siguro mas angat pa doon.
I think we are because based on the recent tournament in MSC, we are the top 2. If we win, we already show everyone that we have the potential to become more than a team. Let's do it for Malaysia.
I will redeem Indonesia.
I will complete the Golden Road.
welcome back to the Swiss stage here of M7 World Championship. It's still Renmark, Gideon, and Brigida on desk. We just came from Boostgate Esports from Turkey getting eliminated, swept by CFU Gaming from Cambodia. For those who missed it, how would you sum up that previous game?
Oh man.
It's really like one sentence.
That's the thing. One sentence might not be enough, but I'll try my best.
Yeah.
In-game mistakes. I think that was the biggest one that stood out to me. Obviously, there are other issues as well, but I
Yeah.
think that one stays true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about for you, Brigadude?
You did mention this word earlier, unfortunate. Like the gates, or we labeled them as gates. We're
Yeah.
so close. But like, I don't know, the sharks were a bit too much.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking of something about gates and sharks, but I don't think gates or sharks get trapped in gates. So
Sharkgate coming to you in
Ooh, ha, ha.
2026. The movie.
Shark. Isn't
Gate
there a,
NATO.
what's that? What game?
Sharkgate NATO.
Okay, NATO.
And then the second one comes 2 years after.
With more gates and newer types of gates.
Yes, newer types of
flying
gates and more
around.
sharks.
Yeah. All right, coming up, it's not an elimination match. All right, so these two teams, yes, they're both in the 1-1 column, if I'm not mistaken. However, it's still important to get that win. You don't want to fall down to the 1-2 bracket, but none of them are saying goodbye. It's Evil, the newest champion from Singapore, against Aurora Turquia. So win. Whoa, that is a deep headline.
Yikes.
Win to breathe. Lose to bleed. That's pretty intense.
That is intense. Because
I was not expecting that headline. I would have set up with a completely different tone and not what we did.
Look, both Evil and as well as Aurora Turquia, they both stand at 1-1 currently in the standings, and they're fighting for that momentum, right?
Yeah.
And this is what I've been the most worried about for teams coming into the Swiss stage, because the worst feeling is when you get that qualification attempt, you're 2-1, and then you lose. And then you lose again. That completely crushes your ego.
Yeah, and I mean, I think so much eyes are on Aurora Turquia. This is, in a way, people would still call them, I think, especially after the addition of Pago in the Rome, as really an all-star team in Turkey. And I think they've been constantly living up to expectations. But their campaign so far has been a bit different. I feel like there might be a bit more adjustment that we're starting to feel, but I also probably can't blame them that much, because it's like their first match was against Alter Ego, and Alter Ego, as we all know, has been
Yeah.
really smooth in their run so far.
And to be fair, that was a really good match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then afterwards, they were able to bounce back and look all the more impressive. They looked significantly stronger against their opponents. Them, I believe it
CG,
was CG. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very understandable. But I think the real question here is what exactly is Pago bringing? Because we don't get to hear the in-game comps compared to Apex 47.
Yeah. So maybe we can actually watch this so we can get a little bit more information. Again, Apex 47 no longer playing, and it's Pago who's gonna be there. So that's just gonna be in a bit.
Hey man, Apex 47.
on your toes.
Even though he may not be here with us today, well, I mean, technically he's on the back, but
Yeah, yeah.
not as a starting roster.
He's in the back, guys.
He's in the back. He's still participating.
He's there.
But a different role. However, his little brother is really interesting. Sigaboom in the gold lane has been quote unquote a standout within the Turkey online scene and even competitive scene. And now that he's come to this point, I feel that he is becoming a more solid role for an anchor for the team, which makes you question, what does Sigaboom bring to the table that also might include some of his brother's imparted knowledge?
Yeah, you have to answer that, because now we're looking at Evil. And what is one of the more impressive things about them is that they are actually unafraid of playing their own style. The Faramis first phase pick did very well for them.
I think they're unafraid. They have nothing to lose, but everything to prove. Both Ceylan as well as Gear are international veterans. And when they are coming into this, there's high expectations from the Singaporean community that they should be the ones who lead the team, but the level of competition is just too tight.
yeah, I mean, it's Singapore, so I think you would already expect that there would be a more unique flavor that they bring.
Okay, that's what you're trying to say.
Hey,
With
hey.
how you said it's Singapore, me and
Oh,
Gideon were
okay.
just,
I
wait,
was looking at it.
What are you trying to set
They
up
could
here?
see you. They could see you. So I was trying to say that they have this much more unique approach to play the game. I wasn't trying to hint at anything else.
Don't worry, I'll say it for you. I think Singapore is weird because they are so out there with their picks. And I think this gives them, yes, a unique flavor, but against a team like Aurora, I feel it's going to be a brick wall, just slamming their heads against iron.
One thing you could say about the Aurora teams, Turkey and Gaming PH, Aurora Gaming and Aurora Gaming PH, the two Aurora teams, okay, is what I'm trying to say, is that they have that great hold of what the template is, of what you have to do from not even just like the first 2-3 minutes, the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game. They have it all locked down. Positioning, the strengths of your lineup, they know and do that very well. That's always been their strengths. So if you want to go kind of weird and cheesy here, similar to Gideon, I feel the same way. They're gonna have to find that balance of, okay, how cheesy are we getting here, and does it make sense in the bigger picture of how does it look in the full 5v5?
I think they should take the approach that Alter Ego actually did. Even though it feels like a little weird to be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna show this as my opener, and then as soon as game 2 starts and we're on the same side, we switch it up again.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if like this approach would really work against such a fundamental team. Because again, you mentioned Aurora Gaming PH or Aurora Turkey. They also have been through both MTV and Dexstar, Master the Basics and Dexstar, so they've handled them, and I think there are so much similarities between the two. But if there's anything you could say to describe it, it's that they're really textbook. So maybe there are some arguments out there saying that once they lose hold of whatever they're used to doing, or the template, if they get a bit lost with the template that they're so used to doing, then that's where everything falls. But does these cheese strats or surprise picks, would they really be enough to shake them off that template that they're so used to doing? Because
I mean, let's look at Yangon Galacticos, right? The fact that they got away with Hellcurt was already pretty crazy. Alter Ego, very good example, as well as having a really wild draft. But if you got a certain level of macro and a high level of execution, you can do a lot of things. I feel like the meta has shifted away from like, we got to play these specific 5 heroes, to now, hey, let's open it up through execution.
Well, it's time to hear from the members of Aurora so that I think we can get a little bit more understanding with their changes for Rome.
Hi, Sayla.
Hi, Rose.
Now, I heard that you are actually doing culinary. Maybe you could give us a quick insight on your culinary journey so far.
So actually, in school I was studying culinary for 3 years in like fine dining, all this.
Whoa.
But what actually like inspired me to be a chef is like my family is all in F&B business. So I'm just like learning to expand my culinary skill lah. So like in the future, maybe I'll open a restaurant or something.
Okay, at the top of your head, what's the favorite thing that you like to cook?
Pasta.
Pasta. What type of pasta?
All kinds. Aglio olio, the tomato one, carbonara, all this. Yeah.
And since you like to cook, do you think you could possibly cook this match up against Aurora Turkey?
Yeah, hopefully.
Do you expect it to be good?
Yeah.
As a chef yourself, you think it's gonna turn out amazing?
Yeah, amazing dish.
An amazing dish, huh?
Yeah.
You know, thank you so much, Sayla, and I wish you the best in your culinary journey.
Thank you.
You know, I like it when I order something from a restaurant and then they give me something different. I thought we were getting Aurora, but we got a slice of evil from, should we call him Chef Sayla now?
Chef Sayla.
I don't know. I don't want to give him a moniker and then it goes badly. But then again,
but he's a literal chef.
He is a literal chef. And I got to know what he's cooking, because he's not only just, again, very diverse in the skills that he knows, not only in MLBB, but outside in the kitchen. But at the same time, he is the leader of this squad. He is the ones making the call and kind of controlling the macro and the flow of the game.
So now let's talk a little bit more about Evil. Yes, Sayla can be highlighted looking at the cheese picks that he has up against Rosa. But let's look at Powerful, from the rookie in SG Season 3, Rookie of the Season, to now, after so many seasons in Singapore, finally on the world stage.
Was it 7 seasons that he's been through so far just to make it here? And I'm loving how I think he also has this balance of maybe a bit of the unique picks, and then he still has like what you want or how balanced it is if you want to expect for a bit more meta, because he was the one to use the Tigreal in their first match, and it's not like it was that bad. It was just a bit lacking, I guess.
You know, for Aurora Gaming, well, Pagu needs to be on point here if he wants to stand toe to toe against Powerful.
Yeah, I think that right now there's so many questions with this squadron because the way that Aurora is winning games hasn't gotten to that level and impact that we saw when we first set eyes on this beautiful team. So many veterans on their side, so much history behind them, and now again facing off against another region who has been kind of shunned out of Southeast Asia because of the booming economy everywhere else. But Singapore still feels a little more stagnant than the rest of the world.
As we head into the draft, we have to check what Rosa is gonna draft here, or what might not end up on the hands of Rosa. Eva might just lean heavily towards messing up Rosa and Aurora's gameplay through banning out all of their picks. But then if you try to focus on Rosa way too much, I feel like there's always just gonna be one or two that's gonna find its way through. So let's look at Powerful again. He's winning best rookie in MPLC SG Season 3. It is just confirming what we mentioned. He's been with Evil for 7 seasons, and he's been the backbone of the lineup as it evolved into the format this today, a World Championship contender.
It's if we were to look at Rosa though for Aurora Turkey, when it comes to Evil, I feel like that's where it gets a bit tricky, because like more than having standout quote unquote players, it's like the highlights or the standout plays can come from anyone. It's like they have really unexpected timings, and you can't really tell where the focal point of the draft or the gameplay is going to be. Because I recall even during their finals in MPLSG, I think across all their 4 games where they won, they had different players as game MVPs, and so that just goes to show how the trend for Evil SG is that there's no really highlight player, quote unquote, or per se. So that might be one of the tricky parts going up against Evil SG.
Well, I think one of the biggest strengths and the biggest weaknesses of Evil specifically, and this has been very notorious amongst Singaporean teams throughout history. They always come in. Well, I say throughout history, but the only exception being NIP Flash. But then there's another reason why they're an outlier. But Evil specifically in Singapore likes to have very rigid lines of play. We are drafting in this specific way to create one specific interaction that will win us the game if we all execute perfectly. However, you're asking and demanding so much from your players every single time. That's a very high standard to hit from the side of Singapore, in comparison to Aurora, where there is a little bit more flexibility to have a margin of error as we check out Broken Walls for the map reveal.
It's the most played map so far in the M7 Swiss stage. I believe this puts it at the 9th, or are we past 10th in the times we played Broken Walls? It's the most played.
Wow.
So right away, focus on the Rosa's picks. Take away the Juicin, the Selena, and respect, of course, the Fanny. I think these are just pretty standard bans if you're going up against Aurora Turkey specifically.
Yeah, so that leaves a lot of the jungle picks actually open, similar to the... Never mind the jungle picks, let's go.
Yep, instantly. They know that Sora is up, so Valentina has to be locked in sooner rather than later. She's going to have a lot of different ultimates to work with. The question is, like we saw before, every time the Sora Valentina question comes up, do you overload her, or is she just going to commit every single time to picking up Sora's ult?
I'm just surprised that the carry was already picked up here more than
the Claude,
that was open. I guess it's also probably to counter out the Grok that was shown first pick by Aurora. Don't know if it's just a bit too reactive because there are so many other power picks out there.
Well, I think mainly because Grok with the Tectonic Charge can cancel out, and the Mighty Swing can cancel out the Blazing Duet. So I think it's kind of understandable to a degree. So Claude, Farsa, no surprises here. It feels like Aurora are getting whatever they want.
There's something that Evil can surprise us with here. And if ever they're going to be putting this Valentina in the mid lane, let's say the Sora doesn't show up and you don't need to put in the EXP lane, I'd want to see it take the similar approach of a Valentina EXP that we saw earlier in Swiss, where instead of building magic, it built defense full tank. So what if they can find a way to pick up the Joy earlier, as we saw. But not in the jungle. Your Valentina acts as sort of like another Grok on your side. Because you'll have damage coming through the Sora that just comes in. So you don't really need the Valentina to dish out damage. You want it for its utility. So you get the utility of the Grok and damage through, if ever, a Joy in the jungle.
Joy in the jungle. Could go Yishinshin if they want to really scale. Are any assassins viable right now? Maybe Hayabusa. There's an argument for Lance, but Grok makes it really difficult no matter what. Like, that's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit tricky for him to pull that off. If ever Aurora doesn't ban it out, probably Hayabusa will really be the best option. There's just too much dive going on for or at least range that you could expect from Aurora, at least now. So maybe they'd want to match that with an assassin. They ban out the Kalea first for Evil. That still leaves Powerful with a lot of other options if ever they wanted to.
I think of the robots that he can match. Joe is there in terms of matching the rotational speed and aggression. Hill has been sort of dipped out. I think Gata is Gata.
He hasn't been touched. Yeah, he hasn't been touched the entire way. I think that Aurora more likely is going to ban it out, but then they have to worry about Cho too. So again, it's kind of pick your poison.
The high loss is there too. If we're just talking about at least anticipating whatever Tianzi might pick up as well.
Pilot got banned.
Oh, yeah. It's gone.
There's so many options that have been eliminated out. And I think that personally for me, the fact that Evil was like, again, both Evil and Aurora were very targeted towards each other in terms of their target bans rather than just say, generally, these are good in the meta.
Yeah. I was surprised that they were even considering that Evil would go with the Hilda. I mean, considering there's a Claude in the Farsa, but I feel like...
I mean, Freya's up in those bans, so anything's possible.
That's true. That's the realm we find ourselves in now.
Yeah. I hate how scary it is just randomly. Oh, yeah, I pick Claude. I pick Freya.
Yeah.
Maybe not now, though, because there's a carry, though.
Yeah.
I think we should say a little thank you to the Chinese server. They're the ones who started playing Freya, started introducing it to the rest of the world. That made us think about it.
That's facts.
And now when they revamp Freya, I was like, all right, here goes Freya. Agata Gacha, as expected, comes in here for Evil.
No surprises there. No surprises there. I want to see what Aurora actually want to bring for the EXP lane because it feels like as of right now, Arlet doesn't sound like a bad idea, but it needs to be paired up with a little bit more CC. I'm thinking Fredrin if it gets to it. But then you're going to clump up, and that's going to be a free engage for Sora, so they go Lance.
Yeah, the focus is there too. If they just wanted to match the aggression, although, what other options are there? Honestly,
How do you feel about the glue?
Glue, though. You know what? Maybe not. I am off of the glue only because it's really difficult to get the carry in the first place. And I think that Uranus makes a little bit more sense because then you can go in and out a lot more consistently without having to depend so heavily on your cooldowns.
You know, I said Joy earlier. I still think it looks perfect for Evil to pick it up.
Kinda.
There is nothing stopping you other than the Grok. And a really well-timed stun from the Curse of the Crow from Farsa.
Is Evil gonna go that route? I mean, with the Valentina in their hands, I don't think it sounds as much of a bad idea. So they have a bit more magic damage to expect.
It's really, really tough to say because there's so many arguments that can be made here. It looks like they go for the Joy at the very end of it. So in terms of magic damage profile, they got true damage with a heavy focus on magic. So that's something that Aurora needs to keep in mind coming into this game for item build progressions.
Yeah. Item building, I feel like it's going to be something very important for these two.
Oh, yeah.
Their routes, how this Valentina is going to be played. It was already shown to us before that you can play it full tank EXP against a Sora. What more now with a Sora? And there's a great ultimate that you can steal the scales well through your max HP and the Grok ability kit. So, interesting choices for Evil as they go up against Aurora. But I think because of it being a little bit more standard than what we're used to, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Aurora here.
Yeah. I have nothing against those who draft uniquely, and I've said it earlier, but I feel like it's a much more comfortable draft that we're seeing right now from Aurora to pull off.
Man, Brigadier, you are a lot more forgiving than I am because I am critical of these weird drafts. And I'm going to see whether or not it's going to work because we're testing some limits here to show what the meta is all about. And I think right now, Aurora's draft is looking pretty decent. Right now, it's that tech charge, like Renmar mentioned. It's such an important spell, and if it can get at least more than 2 members, it's more than worth it.
Oh. So they got to delay the minion waves again, but Evil, that will not stop them from actually clearing the waves first. They dive, or they actually... What?
Yep, they're trying to just open up the map, right? Getting some early trades, forcing Sayla to flicker because he knows he doesn't have this dash and he sees TNZ coming by. This is exactly what they want to do. Aurora planned for the Lethal Wanderer.
Yeah.
Look at all that control and Prio, Pagu, and Rosa are getting. Powerful and Sailor are getting bullied in the center of the map right now. Oh,
what?
That's dangerous.
What?
Yeah.
What?
As much as they wanted to try, you know, but why?
Oh no.
No, don't tell me. I mean, Rosa is already out of there. Revitalize is already through. What is happening? What is stop it?
pretty shaky duels. And Siggy Boom now even he wants a part of it.
No one's recalling it. No one's recalling.
No, you can't. The wave is already here.
Yeah.
Nobody
Oh
wants to
my
back
God.
down. And now Sayla, does he lose any EXP? 0 EXP lost.
Okay.
Good composure that he was able to stick around and not lose any of the minion waves. that was wild, bro.
That was really wild. Why did Powerful wanna try and go for the taunt in that particular way, right?
Some HP back.
Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have just like walked up, and if he happens to be like point blank range, then you do it, you know?
It was okay. Now we're talking.
They're putting Powerful in his place. They're like, no, you don't get to walk up to us just like that. Lunar still hasn't hit level 4 as the very first turtle has already spawned, and Aurora first team to get on top of it.
Did Powerful ever recall yet?
Nope. Still walking around.
Never left.
Oh, it did a reset. Oh, interesting angle. Aether still holding on strong.
Whoa.
Looking really good. Now in the lightning form immediately. Trying to get back out of the electrifying beats is gone.
Whoa.
As Rosa's looking for an opportunity. Gear able to find one. Mighty swing into the auto. Lunar with the Ionic Edge able to find Gear. Now Sayla can't seem to run away from this tough position he is currently in. Too high are the cooldowns, and Lunar gets a double.
Might have been worth it earlier with that turtle steal and kill onto TNZ, but I think Aurora Gaming have actually balanced it out somehow. Wait, Siggy Boom.
Whoa! Yo, I get the idea from Sigurboom, but I think he miscalculated how long that ult actually lasts, carry.
It's always fun to see a carry and a Cloud duel it out real quick, although I am still on the fence about seeing them all the damn time. By the way, Realme 15 Pro 5G, our official gaming phone, you saw it there on the hand cam. As Evil and Aurora still trying to jockey for a better position to get a lead. Maybe thinking that Pagu here might be the thing for Evil, but Pagu will just easily walk away.
Unironically, despite the weird movements we've seen on the map, it goes for both of these teams, right? They're trying to play a very standard game. They're looking for those weak points before they can snap the joints.
Yeah, and it's not like we've seen any major plays just yet. It's as if there are attempts, but both teams are just quick to disengage whenever they feel like it's not going to be favorable enough for them. But down bottom, Ben senses that there might be rotation.
Yeah, they know something is wrong here. Mid lane is missing. They only see Pagu so far without anything like a Feathered Airsoft or any signal to give against the tech charge. Pagu sets it up perfectly! What a instantaneous play!
They made that look easy.
Yeah, and that was such a quick decision from Aurora Gaming, because the moment that they felt that Ben was a lost cause or that they couldn't really go after him, they got even better targets in the mid lane.
Yeah, Sayla cannot disrespect Grok like this. This is why Grok has been highly banned throughout the tournament. There's just so many things that Grok can do to mess with you. He doesn't always have to go for that mighty swing. He can just use a traditional attack. He can just use an empowered auto. So many ways to guarantee maximum crowd control.
Crozius Life now built up here for Ven. Siggy Boom, if I'm not mistaken, also just did run to the DHS. Second turtle of the game. The broken walls allowing Aether to get a more comfortable position against these members of Aurora, specifically that Grok. TNT's nearby. They could go for the full commit in just a bit.
Oh, Dorka's been watching out for
Oh! Flicker in from the tech charge onto Pagu instantly with the blazing noise coming in from Sigabon. The feather airstrike is good as Ven is out of fight. AOG to cut them off. As you can see, that Gear gets into the fight and secures the turtle. Pagu might be the next to fall as a stolen tech charge finds the counter engage to cancel out Sigaboom's BMI.
Oh, goodness. As we thought that Aurora already had pretty decent control over the objective. Hold on. Does Lunar actually get to clear this? I think he will.
He should be okay. I don't think they wanted to dive the Uranus just yet, but they're setting up for Luna. He does get his ult just in time. He can pop it at any moment. He's waiting for it. The engagement coming in, the lightning phone coming in from here. He can deal the damage, but Lunar just does not care. Pops the ult early as Aether. Now looking for an opportunity. Electrifying Beats realizes Rosa's too healthy. Not enough damage. They back off for now.
There's a Radiant Armor now on Pagu's Grok, which means that the damage of this Joy might just get stunted a little bit, and Evil might get surprised as to why the Grok isn't going to be falling down quickly. They really have to watch their positioning around that tech charge. Pagu has been on point, has been committing the flickers, maximizing the animation of it.
Really nice movement coming in from Gear, locking him in place. AOG, but Pagu with the CC immune walks out scot-free.
Great movements we're seeing from Aurora. Even though Evil were really decisive on trying to get that kill, they weren't able to get anything out of it. I'm liking the aggression that we're seeing from them. Even though Aurora Gaming are the ones leading in terms of kills, they're the ones who are actually constantly able to steal away the necessary objectives. They're the ones able to convert things so far, taking a turret off of Aurora and potentially might even go for another one here up top, unless Aurora actually are the ones to start things off. But they will play it safe.
What a position that they were in. They could have easily just jumped onto Powerful, but they don't want the counter engage coming in from Evil just yet, right? As we see Ven now baited into a fight that he cannot win. Luckily, the spin light wheel is able to catch two. Buys time as Pagu is going to go right onto Ven. Even Lunar as well with the Ion Edge finds him with the help of Pagu. Good stuff coming in from Aurora.
Great late entries by Pagu. Again, tech charge on point. Not the big team set, but at the end of the day, it's a kill onto the gold laner. Aether already started off the turtle earlier. Gear and Powerful are here. Can Aether get a kill?
Rosa, wings by wings. Electrifying Beat's going to be popped a little late here on purpose, waiting for the opportunity for a feathered airstrike as TNZ is able to secure it. Oh, the engage coming in from here, almost good. Didn't catch two. Double flickers were committed, though. As Aurora Gaming walk away, they at least get the turtle.
Yep, first objective that goes over to Aurora Gaming, and I don't think they really wanted to look for a fight after that. TNZ just resumed jungling and did not decide to join in the mid lane. So Aurora were just playing it or keeping it safe after getting what they needed, and maybe now's the time they could just join together, include Sigiboom in their rotations, and have enough damage to deal with Evil.
I think that Evil, especially Powerful, now that he's got the Pauldron already purchased, he's going to need a little bit of anti-heal. Everybody avoiding the anti-heal like it's a plague. No Dom Ices, no Glowing Wands as well.
Yeah, things might start looking different once they have them locked in. Decided to rush the Chastise Pauldron and really think about the Claude. But the Dynamite should be coming in just a bit for that God Tacho on the Valentina. That will be the second item if we're built.
I don't think they're going to be able to get the anti-heal in time. Good engagement coming in from Gear, but faster movements coming in from Lunar. Single sidestep was all he needed. As the waves are now getting pushed and pulled consistently, Aurora Gaming is taking advantage of the whole situation, right?
They're probably waiting for the Trinity to come in for Sigiboom before actually trying to look for a fight, so that they're a bit more confident in terms of the damage output that they'll be able to provide, because I think he's lacking just one more before actually completing it. Oh, wait! Oh!
Blazing Duet already coming out towards Aether's side. Electrifying Beast by side. Sigiboom flickers forward with the help of Rosa. They secure it. That's Aether down. What a cat. Pretty interesting. I like the way that Sigiboom plays, but now Lunar has opened up the entire map, knowing the Gear is alone. Sigiboom gets free auto attacks, but he backs off. There's no reason to fight. 10 seconds until the Lord.
Looked like Aether was baited into that, not realizing the state of the map, and in the end, it would be him falling down. 1,500 gold lead here for Aurora Gaming, and this is just as Aurora as he could get with his performance. Great condition. All the conditions checked.
Oh my goodness. How much damage is he doing to Ven? And now Ven popping the ult as well. Wants to take Lunar out, but doesn't have enough damage. Holy Crystal already purchased by Aether as they fight for position over this Lord.
That looked like such a perfect time to use the tech charge, but no one from Aurora was ready to fight just yet. But now Evil are forced under their turrets. They don't have they do have an idea that Powerful's here. Oh no!
And they catch him. Powerful tries to use the AOG, can't get it! He gets CC time and time again as Gears look for a counter engagement of his own. Maybe anti-CC, but still, they're just waiting it out. They're bleeding them dry, and Aurora wait out the abilities, wait out the timers for a no contest on the Lord. Here comes Aether onto Rosa, electrifying beats as well, can't fall out, can't get over the wall!
How could you dash freely in this kind of lineup? There's just so much that's stopping you. That's stopping Aether. And now they're trying to go for the invades and even a kill down bottom on Ben.
Oh, Ben, he was playing it perfectly. Perfect movement. Jumps out Pagu. AOG forces out a flicker of his own as Gear was only able to engage on the front line. Wait, hold on. Powerful. Still catching TNT. Not bad, but for now, what a dangerous game. 3.9K turning into a 4K as mid-tier 1 cracks open.
Yeah, this Grok has been a nuisance. It's really so good.
Oh, now you're talking about the Grok.
Yep, and now the tech charge easily set for them. They clear the wave. Tier 2 already put down a 50% as the feathered airstrike just for the siege. This is Aurora Gaming. They really got tracks under them.
It's only been 11 minutes. But you could feel the struggle, the difference
Oh
in the
my
Joy
God.
gameplay that we saw in game number, or the first series compared to now. It's a 0-3 for Aether. Oh, Powerful, does he get out of this?
He might not be able to force use the Revitalize early on as the Holy Shielding down by the mid lane already cracks. This is why Grok is so good. Pagu, he clearly knows his Grok tech walls.
Honestly, I think this is one of the best explanations as to why the win rates for Sora and Grok are like this. Like Grok has had such a high win rate so far in M7, but Sora, I don't think he's able to snatch a win just yet. It's just all highlights that we're seeing from Sora so far.
I think there's a bit of a relationship between Grok and as well as Sora, right? Every time you do see Sora inevitably get let through, Grok usually is one of that pairings that just happens to be left as well.
The trades teams are willing to make here. And Aurora Gaming has been trading well around the map this entire game. 6,000 and climbing. Rosa!
The feathered airstrike looking for that back line. Sayla losing 50% of his AG. AOG coming in from the help of Powerful. Electrifying beats on only the front line as Yenzi is about to go back into the fight with the Phantom Execution. Takes out Powerful. And the engagement from Gear is good, but Sigaboom is able to get out of the way. With a Trinity, he melts like butter. And now Tensi gets to play the game for free.
It's fortunate timing there for Evil. I know they decided to want to take the fight because they saw that the tech charge was already committed, but still they could not get the right start to it.
Oh no.
The final push. They're looking for the opportunity as Aether trying to focus on these waves. Same goes for Sayla. That wall is going to push them back, and they managed to get the Crystal still relatively healthy, but the Lord, it's back up in 13. It's going to be one hell of a fight here.
Yeah, and that's such a huge objective taken by Aurora Gaming before the Lord. That's the mid-base turret of Evil. Not even Lunar seems the least bit bothered by the damage that Evil are able to throw out at this point. An 8K gold lead for this lineup.
Dude, I mean, Lunar is having the time of his life. He is literally a walking ward and who's unkillable. He's 3-0-6. He's devastated Gear, and every engagement that Gear has quote-unquote successfully gotten hasn't done much. Look at that. He flickers out of the way and tech charge, everything thrown at the wall to take Lunar down. The eclipse is here, and now the sun looks to shine. Feathered airstrike as well as the tech charge gets Pagu out of there. Tenzi, plenty of damage. He's looking for a little bit more, but he has to wait for the waves.
Here for Lunar, both EXP laners. But do you really want to hand over more gold to Aurora Gaming at this point?
They also get gold for getting killed there onto Lunar, so something is better than nothing, even though you have to give up something for that. I think it's one of those quotes that sound deep but actually don't mean anything. But
Yep.
You guys know what I mean, right?
We get what you mean. We totally get it. Because look, everybody's got like a 1K lead on their side, besides the jungler who's about to turn it into a 3K. And oh my god. Aether, if he can just catch Rosa, there might be some hope. Here comes the Electrifying beats. No problem. Loses 50% and gets stunned and dies.
What the flicker?
Just like that. And up here, now switching into all attack mode, hoping that maybe he can find a trade back as the Lord gets soloed down by Ven single-handedly. 2 missing inhibitors and another attempt coming in from Aurora. Todd's good. AOT even better. And Sayla might have just done it to save this game for Evil. Ven now taking the space forward, looking for as many attacks as possible. Ran out of the ult and must go back to defend the base.
Thanks to the DHS, at least Sigibum is now able to regain everything back. But I think that was a really commendable call from Evil. Them deciding to actually pursue Rosa, it may have been a bit unsuccessful in the beginning, but they were able to finish it off, and that already meant so much for them, because then Ven was able to focus down on at least just clearing the Lord for now, and it's not like they were completely unprepared if ever Aurora wanted to still proceed with the fight. You saw that IMU wild charge or tech charge from Sayla, and that forced out so much from Aurora Gaming, even the flicker from Sigibum, which I think he barely touched this entire game.
Yeah, Evil are definitely within earshot of being able to turn this around. Yes, you're looking at an 8,000 gold lead for Aurora Gaming, but it's within the thresholds of like 50,000. Evil is just about to cross 45, which means they definitely have enough in the tank to turn things around. Although executing that team fight is going to be harder for them. One of the biggest things they need to deal with again is that Pharsa. They take that Pharsa out, and that's just one step. You have to wait for Pagu's tech charge. You have to wait for Sigibum and have an answer ready for you. The good thing is there is already a blade armor on that Gatot Kacha, and there are items set for that Joy. We have felt the damage and seen it. Divine Glaive on this Valentina as well. It's going to be one of the main ways they come back into it. Now, even more so, an additional item for Ven, he gets the Malefic Gun.
I think right now it's a pivotal point for Evil, right? Every little bit of gold is actually super valuable to get important items, situational items, like maybe even a Winter Crown, ideally a Wind of Nature at some point just for Claude. If I'm looking at Ven's item build, I think he's very close to it. No, actually, he decides to go for the Malefic Gun alongside his Rose Gold Meteor. Interesting. He's more worried about Rosa.
Yeah, and where is Rosa right now?
Silent Assassin, look at him, so far away from the team.
I love this kind of positioning coming in from Pharsas.
Yeah, I think I recall many plays of this with Sanji, just holding the orange bush or the orange buff.
Okay, so it's Rosa going with TNC.
Okay, they're hopping one after the other. Sigibum, okay, manages to get out there with the BMI. Nothing to be worried about, but look at the fattest rank of all time. Oh my goodness, stole a feathered airstrike, try to buy some time as Aether gets back out of there. Powerful must fight, and now the Blazing Duet gets canceled. But he's done it, and now they're turning the fight around. Tech charge ain't good enough, and Sayla, he could fight, but he doesn't want to flicker. He sees Rosa, he doesn't want to do any more than this here. Must hold them as we see the base now getting attacked in the mid lane. It's a base race. Evil, they gotta go back. Oh my god, Sigibum might have just done it for the team. BMI to switch places. Wow! And there you have it. A clutch base steal. Sigibum, well done.
Hand in his pocket, one eye closed. Not a lot of tech. The Turkish Trigger Man gets the win for Aurora.
Not like that.
Unbelievable. Evil were already on that one team fight that could have potentially turned things around. Ven was doing it. You mentioned it.
What a crushing blow. A crushing blow to Singaporean fans. They all know, all of them, they messed up. They just needed to recall, and Sigibum put that final nail. They didn't even know that it was there. They didn't even see the tip of the coffin.
Yeah, because even Pagu chose to sacrifice himself just so he could at least lessen or reduce the amount of people who could call back to the base. And that was literally Sigibum's decision from that exchange he had with Ven and him popping his mortality and then choosing to not fight anymore, but just seeing the opportunity, seizing the opportunity in the mid lane. This is literally Sigibum. This was all Sigibum's call.
Oh, I believe that was also a Winter Crown that kept him alive.
Yup. Yup, it's so insane when you look at the moves of this game and notice that it already was pushing into the 17th minute when this final sequence finally occurred.
Yeah, there, the winter crowd.
And then he BMIs out of there and he runs straight down the mid lane.
He just left everyone in this decided to put.
Look at that. It's so beautiful how this all played out. Everything that could have went wrong. And Sigaboom, he even got out of there. Look at Rosa. Rosa was like, I'm going to help you. Realizes they're recalling. Sigaboom, this is all you. We're going to get the Lord. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, because it almost seemed like a slight failed attempt of the flank, but none of it mattered anymore.
Oh, it's a crazy moment, so it's time to hear from Aurora to hear what they have to say.
Aurora Gaming finally enters the 2-1 bracket. And with me here, I have with me Pagu, TNZ, and Apex. TNZ left. Oh no. I wanted to sing happy birthday for TNZ because I heard it's TNZ's birthday today. But TNZ left me on stage, so I guess we can all say happy birthday to TNZ.
Yeah, it's actually 1 month ago. It's just written like that.
Oh, it's 1 month ago. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Belated happy birthday, I guess. Okay, now, you know what? Let's talk about the game. We know that now Aurora Gaming has entered the 2-1 bracket. Boys, how are you all feeling so far this M7?
I mean, we are very excited as our previous game, we ended in such a way that I think now we are super hyped for next game.
Yes. Now, we definitely could see that you guys are very, very much hyped, and we could see the composure coming back from you guys. Now, I have a question. In such a very packed schedule, and of course, a very tight tournament where we have best of ones only so far in the Swiss stages, how are you guys coping with it? Apex?
Tüm seriler BO1 sürüyor diyor. Hani yani bu sıkı hani şey hakkında ne düşünüyorsun diyor. Hani.
Bence bu bir yandan iyi bir yandan zor bir şey. Çünkü kimin kazanacağını gerçekten kestiremiyorsun. En kötü takım en iyi takımı yenebiliyor. Underdog'daki takım en üst seviyedeki SDR takımı yenebiliyor. Ama ben beğeniyorum.
He said that I mean about BO1, every team can win every team, so it's really risky. Sonra ne dedin?
En düşük takım en yüksek takımı yeniyor.
Tamam, başka ne dedin?
Beğeniyorum.
Yeah, he likes that system because
you
it's
like it?
exciting to watch because anything could happen.
Yes, anything could happen, and one small mistake could literally cost your team the game. Now, tomorrow, we all know it's going to be a rest day. We don't have matches tomorrow. How are you guys spending your off day? Are you guys going to stroll around Jakarta or really hardcore locked-in training mode?
Again, your voice a little bit cut.
Oh, it got cut off. It's okay. Tomorrow, we don't have any matches. It's an off day for everybody, but how is Aurora Gaming going to spend your off day?
Yarın tatil gününüz olacak diyor. Yarın ne yapacaksınız?
Yarın stream açacağız. Hatalarımızı gözden geçireceğiz. Bir sonraki maçımıza odaklanacağız.
Ne? Dur kameraya bak.
Tomorrow just scream training, focus to next game, watch a replay if have mistake something like this.
They're very much locked in. I don't think they're going to be having too much fun going around Jakarta tomorrow because they are locked in and ready for training. Pagu, is there anything you want to say to the Aurora Gaming fans that are supporting you guys?
Yeah, I'm really grateful. Like, you guys support me so much, and because of it, we can play so well. Thank you, guys.
There we go. Aurora Gaming Subuff. Thank you very much, boys, and congratulations on your win. And with that, to break down what happened in this best of one series, let us show it back to the panel to give us an insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to hear from Aurora Gaming, of course, showing their love for all their supporters, keeping them going, their families as well, and they're locked in. Even though it's going to be an off day for all of us here tomorrow, they said, no, we're not going to be thinking about that. We're going to be looking at what we got to fix up, as now they are going to be heading into the 2-1 brackets, and they are now heading into best of 3 territories. But this was a great way to win this. I like what they said about how, I think it was Pagu who mentioned, with how he won today, I like the momentum that we have because that kind of win is going to keep you going.
Oh yeah.
It feels so satisfying.
Because it's like they were winning the entire time, and then the one time Evil actually felt like we got one hell of a chance. We're actually doing this. They ended up losing their base in the process. That's how bad it got. But I mean, when we look at the items, hopefully we get a bigger story here after the MVP. Because God, give it up for Sigaboom here. He deserves all the credit for that final play alone.
Even that sequence he showed us when he was trying to accomplish the base siege all by himself. Because yes, Rosa was around the area, but majority of it was really just him. He was just targeting it. He used the BMI and then the flicker. All those decisions that came into play moments before that and even during that were really just so commendable. And this is why we also talked about Sigaboom being such a star player, being such a highlight. And after and despite everything that he's been through, so it's not moving, so never mind. So here we go again, looking at the highlights of this entire game. I think you would agree that it has been majority Aurora controlling the game. There were moments, especially in the beginning, wherein we thought that there could have been a lot more punishable plays from Evil, but I think they were able to somehow carry it out nonetheless, much to a point wherein we thought that there could have been an opportunity for them to eventually turn things around. But there was just multiple attempts like this from Gear. He was using the Stormbind, but there wasn't enough follow-up, and there were just a bit too much displacement skills that were also readily available for Aurora, so they could just reposition themselves out of it after that. And I feel like Aurora in this game have read the map so well that even when Evil were trying to look for opportunities, similar to what we saw just now in down bottom when they tried to pick off Lunar, they were actually working on other things. And that was something Evil probably did not entirely anticipate. Now this, I feel, was the flank that we were talking about. Rosa and Tianzi clearly coming in from behind.
Yep.
If we were to look at it closely, it didn't feel as if it was entirely working in their favor. Pago was bursted down and then was already finding the right targets. But that switch up from Sigaboom and his decision to just walk away from everything, Gear sensed it. He actually followed them.
Yeah.
Followed Rosa, followed Sigaboom, but then only Aether and Ven were able to recall, and it wasn't enough. He was already able to bring the base down to half HP by the time they were able to recall and come back. And again, even that, I think we have to give it to Pagu for also not letting any other players get to follow up.
For sure. For the moment, it was Sigaboom's moment. For majority of the game, it was Pagu's control. His play on this Grok really kept Evil in check.
Genuinely disgusting. 4 times we see that Aether actually gets caught out in the middle of the electrifying beats. Who set it up? Pagu, every single time. And it's crazy how much he got away with in this game. Obviously, I'm looking back into the old days because I'm an older man at this point. Because Apex 47 did very similar things. And Pagu is coming in, not only doing Apex 47 tech, but showing that there is more to Grok than what you can see with the naked eye.
I don't think also in the end there, it wasn't intentional that Pagu drew attention away from the members of Evil going back. It looked like they just saw a low Grok and said, yeah, let's just kill this guy. Wait, our base?
Our base?
What happened to our base? I feel like Evil, I get the frustration. Yes, it hurts to get split push like that, but I think they also knew that it was, in a way, their fault that happened. They spent too long reading the situation. They saw the waves crashing in. They knew where Sigaboom was heading. There was a good 2 seconds where they stood there as if playing for positioning, and then they decided, let's go for the Grok. And then let's recall to go home.
I mean, I guess you can't entirely blame them. The momentum was there. They were winning the fight. Ven was probably screaming that he got this. Like, he was getting to take off immortalities from people, and I don't know, they just probably did not notice how Pagu or how Sigaboom and Rosa just decided to exit the fight.
Yeah. No, I mean, the shape of the fight was really awkward as well. Like you mentioned, as you showed, like again, Rosa as well as Tianzi managed to get a super far flank into the enemy, into Evil's purple jungle, right? And most of the time, I'm thinking to myself, could I do better? Maybe if I played like more 1v1s, I could definitely do it.
Yeah. And if you want to win $20,000 while playing more 1v1s, then download Fairy Games, play MLBB 1v1, and win that crazy amount of money. So how it works is, number one, you download Fairy Games on App Store or Google Play. Number two, you play MLBB 1v1. There are no teams. You're only going up against AI and you're comparing your best personal score. This is personally the best chance in my life. I can turn my life around with one simple thing that I know I'm good at, and it's playing video games, and that is playing MLBB. So if I really want to turn my life around and just change up can someone else
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
that, Reed?
Yeah, don't worry about it. Because you can win up to 20,000. Money I'll give. Happily donate to Renmar as long as I beat these clankers. Either way, don't forget, if you're thinking about like, hey, maybe AI is going too far, then maybe you could take a step back and let the auto battlers do it for you. The Magic Chess Go-Go World Championship is coming. This is the first World Championship for MCGG. On January the 10th and the 11th, the group stage and semifinals will see fierce competition. And on January 25th, the grand finals will take place at the M7 Carnival. So please, follow the official channels to get the latest information, and let's jointly witness the birth of the very first MCGG World Cup, essentially.
Hey, the M7 Carnival sounds really fun, but I think I'm gonna see something too.
I don't want to risk.
Let's not.
Yeah,
but
let's just hand it.
yeah, you can check this out if you want to. This is Acecraft, an STG built around adaptability, so random skills, bullet deflection mechanics, and a retro cartoon style, which is really cute. All designed for fast, skill-driven aerial combat. So you guys can jump into Acecraft now for some nostalgic fun. I mean, just look at how he's driving the helicopter plane.
The little plane.
Yes.
The little plane. Hey, women love it.
Right.
Boys wish that they were in that plane as well. And it's a two-player game. So again, get your significant other. Get in on fun.
So it's by twos,
No third wheels.
no third wheels.
0 third wheels.
Yeah, so we can't play it. The three of us can't play it.
Me and Renmar got rock, paper, scissors. 100%.
Okay. Oh, they're doing it right now.
All right, let's just hope that's the only Malaysian win today. I am kidding. I am kidding. Coming up next is Team Spirit versus Onyx ID. Y'all didn't expect that, huh?
Hey, man. Heart beats red, blood beats blue.
So, but it's not yet. Seven more Red Giants and Team Liquid will be later on tonight. But of course, it's Team Spirit versus Onyx. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Team Spirit didn't look all the more impressive in their last one. Onyx also, no one expected them to lose to Young Galacticos like that. I think this is going to be one of those battles that's just going to be really juicy as hell.
Personally, I think that like Team Spirit definitely don't look as on form as they were during their EWC runs. And I think this time around, I think that's going to affect them. Like, we're getting close to our last couple of lives here. We better, step up.
Yeah, it's a bit sad to think that you've been so consistent in at least having very commendable finishes in the past few international tournaments. And just as people were expecting you to really start exceeding that because of the way you left your past international tournaments, then the road gets a bit bumpy. So now that they're going up against Onyx, who I feel like really want to redeem themselves as well, this battle is going to be definitely something you should all pay attention to.
I'm excited to see a great duel between Skylar and Hikomania.
Oh, yeah.
Although Hikomania has been very... I'm still looking for Hikomania. Man, give it a moment. Give it a moment.
Right now, we've only seen two options.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see it. Team Spirit versus Onyx is coming up next.
Rune 15 Pro M7 official gaming phone. are your M4 World Champions. Winning the game, getting the checkmate, setting everything up right now.
Are going to the M7 World Championship.
Let's go.
Futbol uğraşıyordum, futbolcu olmak istiyordum. Ama pandemi girdikten sonra futbola ara verdim. Birazcık da Mobile Legends oynamaya başladım o zamanlar yani yaklaşık.
Que nosotros empezamos desde la MDL, la ganamos, después subimos a la MPL, también la ganamos y ahora estamos en el Mundial y también esperamos ganar.
I think Team Zone is underdog in M7. Nobody expected us to be here.
Evo was once a dark horse and we break through the expectation of everyone.
Team Star Squad, They broke history.
Even though we are coming in as a newcomer, we are not just coming in here for experience.
We know we have power. That's all. We are good.
Nosotros somos el equipo de Coast.
Who do I think will be the dark horse? A bit of a Malaysian bias, but I would say CG for sure.
I'll lean more towards Yangon Galactic.
I don't think anyone really is expecting CG to be a threat.
Kita orang bukan dark house. Kita orang cuma pendatang baru.
ကျွန်တော်ကတော့အဲ့လိုတော့မထင်ဘူးအများကြီးပြင်ဆင်နေတော့ကြောင့်မလို့ပွဲတဲ့ကြရင်အကောင်းဆုံးပုံစံနဲ့ဆော့ရသွားမှာချပြသွားမှာလို့ချက်တော့စောင့်ကြည့်သေးတယ်
Sebab kita orang ni suka invade orang, baca orang. Memang gaduh tak berhenti.
ညီရဥအောင်ချတယ်ပေါ့အဲ့ကြောင့်မို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ aggressive ဆော့ရတော့ကြတယ်
Agresif, kenapanya? Karena suka perang. Karena kalau misalkan bermain agresif, musuh bakal kena pressure duluan.
មូលហេតុដែលពួកខ្ញុំចូលចិត្តលេង aggressive ដោយសារពួកខ្ញុំកាលមុនគឺមើល player ខ្លួនឯងនីមួយៗហើយគិតទៅថាអ្នកគឺដៃខ្លាំងមែនតើអញ្ចឹងលេង aggressive គឺត្រូវ
我们战术打法无规则打法，就对手可能研究不透我们的打法。
We are not that serious. We just playing for fun because it helps us not get pressure. If you play for real, we get a high pressure international.
可以打进世界赛的关键之一是早睡早起，保持好身体。
Siguro determination lang din talaga and focus sa sarili kasi doon nalalabas siguro yung pagiging consistent sa paglalaro.
Our secret in our veterans in our team. Enemies need to respect us.
Strong mentality and discipline because it's all about out of the game. King teams for me are gaming us.
Siguro para masabi kong king yung team or legends, siguro meron muna silang MSC title and M-World title.
Kalau dibilang tim raja, enggak lah.
The Sky Kings have been taken down.
Kita belum layak lah dipanggil raja. Ya, back to back dulu lah semuanya, baru bisa dianggap tim raja.
Tingin ko isa kami sa mga king teams kasi sobrang dami na namin pinanalo na tournaments and sobrang dami na namin na-achieve ng magkakasama. Sa tingin ko kapag na-achieve na namin yung Golden Road, hindi na siguro king team yung tawag sa amin, siguro mas angat pa doon.
I think we are because based on the recent tournament in MSC, we are the top 2. If we win, we already show everyone that we have the potential to become more than a king. Let's do it for Malaysia.
I will redeem Indonesia.
I will complete the Golden Road.
Hopefully that was picked up. I've been forgetting to use this all this time. I've been wanting to. And that would have been perfect against the Evo versus Aurora series that we just came from. Again, it's Renmark, Gideon, and Brigida here. Remember, what happened was Evo looked like, hey, they're turning things around. Bam. There goes the Turkish Trigger Man. There goes the split push. A split push win by Aurora to end things there.
You never know with these days because again, I haven't seen like a backdoor finish in so long, and they don't happen very often in the game of Mobile Legends these days. But I think at least it just goes to show if the fight is that hectic, you kind of missed certain details out.
Yeah, the last I recall was with a Lu Yi.
Yes,
And now we
MPLPH Grand Finals, Season 16.
And now we see one where he just walked towards the base all by himself, accompanied by a bird, being chased by a cloud. but it all was not enough. I'm right? He was chased by Sora.
And a dragon projection, because the skin of the Claude is a dragon projection.
yeah.
It's not a monkey.
That's a lot of things in the air.
Yeah.
Too many in a matter of fact. But it doesn't change the difference here that as much as we are bringing the whoever's got talent, we're looking for the golden ticket. And I think right now, looking between these two teams, Onyx, like they feel like they deserve it, but TS has pushed literally tooth and nail every single season in EECA on top of the internationals to get progressively better and better scores.
And now they're up against Onyx, the Sky Kings that everyone thought would be coasting through the Swiss stage. But no, the one who did that was the team that they defeated in the grand finals of MBL Indonesia Season 16, Alter Ego. Onyx finds themselves in this bracket because they lost to Yangon Galacticos after getting tested by Boostgate Esports in round 1. An almost 30-minute game in round 2. They just never found any hold in the game whatsoever. That was a Yangon game from minute 1 all the way up until the end. So let's look at the headline in the battle above the clouds. The Spirit Dragons versus the Sky Kings.
Oh, I'm actually still not over that loss that Onyx got against Yangon. Because it was just so unexpected. I mean, Yangon themselves felt like they did not feel the same. It felt like they sort of expected it. They do have some respect for Onyx, definitely mentioning that they put Onyx on top and then them being next after that. But I guess there are also a couple questions in mind as to how Onyx wanted to approach that game, because I think they had a lot of the more uncommon heroes on their side. So they had the Sora together with the Leomord all at once, and probably execution remained a bit of a question, because we saw glimpses of it in their first game where they were using a much more meta draft, but now that they added some layers of unpredictability, then it seemed a bit more confusing.
Yeah, I think that in that matchup, at the very least, Onyx is. I wouldn't want to say that they're trying absolutely everything, but they were compromised from the draft. But let's look on the opposite side, right? Team Spirit. I think these guys are exciting, yet they haven't been able to break out of the big three, which so happens that ticket was finally stolen by the Yangon Galacticos.
So there's a lot of history between Team Spirit and Onyx. They've messed up as different teams in the past with different names. So let's know more about this specific matchup by watching this.
We always wake up from 11 to 12, then everybody showers, play the first scrim. Everybody eats, play another scrim, then we eat, that's it. Then everybody just sleeps, and same thing over and over.
If we don't understand something and we have some conflict, if keep, for example, saying how enemy jungle or roam or both of them on my lane and you don't doing something on me, that's making me stressed, then we just talking about it, that's it. Like only with talk, for me, it's changing my stress.
It's not like we're new to each other, we're just ourselves and we fit, we click. It's just like 5 friends, that's it. In M6 boot camps, there was one room with 6 people. It was our old coach Ren, Pico, One Shot, Sunset Sabo, and me. And then Pico went to the toilet, but it didn't work anymore. So then they had to fix it. But One Shot had to go to the toilet as well in the morning after Pico went already. And then he just went to the toilet with a broken toilet already. And then there was like a mess. Same thing happened with me one more time. That's like the funniest story. But if I would go in detail, it's gonna be way funnier, but then everything would be censored. For me, Malaysia was the best. I really like Malaysia. I like Kuala Lumpur a lot. I like the apartment that we lived in. I like the quality of the products. You know, it's just like, it's very close to European life. We always watch MPL. We always try to see what they do. We don't try to adapt. We just bring our own style. Our region has improved enough so that we can compete against them. But we have our own ideas. We have our gameplay against the other teams. And then whatever is new, we try, we play. If we like it, we continue with it. If we don't like it, just drop it and then keep progressing like that.
Wow, again, the Brotherhood of the Broken Toilet get a big win over Onyx today. I love that we got a little bit of a sneak peek of their life. And thank you, Kid Bomba, for sharing that little anecdote. about what happened to you guys back in M6 in Malaysia. Luckily, no toilet problems in M7 here in Jakarta so far.
Hey, I mean, a big fan. Again, he knows how to play with fans. He's an outspoken character, and he's outspoken in game as well. With the way that they look to kind of find these engagements, you never really see a predictable play style coming in from Team Spirit. It changes draft per draft.
Yeah, I just love hearing interviews from Kid Bomba, and I love how they always translate that even in game, which is why I feel like even despite all that's been happening, it still remains a surprise to me whenever I see Kid Bomba not being able to do Kid Bomba things, because he's
Yeah.
just always been that guy. And I feel like that's one of the biggest benchmarks as to when they are clearly struggling, if it's when Kid Bomba is not able to accomplish that. But speaking of, look at him, very chill.
He's chill. Hopefully, he's feeling a little bit better. Heard that his health took a bit of a toll in the early days of the tournament, so hopefully, maybe that's why they were looking a little shaky. If he gets
Yeah.
back in form, they could be back at their peak.
Yeah, definitely looking much healthier here today, and I'm pretty sure they've been given some wings, of course, by Red Bull. Hopefully, things are looking good there in the Team Spirit camp, which they are. Now, honestly, I'm gonna say this. I think Sawa, Sunset Lover, and One Shot have it in them to at least match what the legendary mid trio of Onyx bring to the table. What I want to look at personally is how well are the side lanes going to fare? How well is Kid Bomba going to be able to do his explosive Kid Bomba things against Lootby? And most importantly, will Hiko Mania finally wake up? He'll need that when he's going to go up against Skylar of all people.
I think that I'm less worried about Hiko. I'm also not as worried about Kid Bomba, mainly because of how Lootby plays the laning phase, right? And considering how they've been utilizing their EXP laners, it's not going to be so lane dominant as we think. Looking back into the last time we saw them play on the international stage, EWC 2025, as well coming in towards M6, right? Moments in those games really boil down to, hey, we're at the 25th minute, and then Sunset Lover dies.
Yeah.
That has been the two main causes of their big defeats at the international stage when they are breaking their own records. Might change this time round. Who knows? It might be instilling some kind of fear in Sunset.
Yeah, I think it's also one of the things I noticed. I think that's the contrast between these two teams. When Onyx first played here in M7, it was clearly very shaky, but it wasn't something that they were entirely out of just yet. They eventually were able to find ways around it, although you really don't want it to reach that point. But I think that's one of the changes we see in Onyx. It's that they clearly know when to acknowledge that now is maybe a loss for now, and that eventually they play the more disciplined route and find the necessary openings to turn things around. Because I feel like Onyx, in my mind, before used to be the always just so aggressive, hyper-aggressive team that will just keep going for it, even though it's not entirely on their terms anymore. But I think now we're seeing a bit more different. We're seeing growth, and that hopefully is something we see from Team Spirit as well, because it's more on the things that are lacking that we point out from them in the past few days.
The shades of the Onyx that we know are definitely there, but what's lacking is, well, their lack of mistakes. Onyx has always been known as the Sky Kings for the sense of the refinement that they bring from each position in the game and together as a team when they move as a unit. So now you see here, looks like Coach Yeb. This is a behind the scenes look. Of course, you're not going to be hearing anything, but this is him really talking to the players and the entire staff, letting them know what he thinks, what's going on with the team, what they need to fix. And we can tell you now, behind the scenes, even with their win up against Boostgate to open it up, the Swizz, they weren't happy because Onyx knows they can do better. We have yet to see that form of Onyx that does better than everyone.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what that mental block was initially. Because again, right at day one when we started the Swiss stage, they got pushed all the way to the edge. And then the late game, it felt like Onyx came back into form.
Yeah.
Second game they played, completely dropped the ball against YG. So begs the question, what is stopping them from getting back to, hey, let us express ourselves and play the game that we want, rather than, I'm so worried about everybody else messing up my one role.
Yeah, I guess it's also partly them proving that they tend to really be shaky when it's best of ones. We have had theories or records of them being this way, but now we're seeing that maybe they aren't completely over it just yet.
Yeah. We actually got a few words in with some Sonics here in the crowd, so let's listen in on this.
Hey guys, this is Rose, and right now I am with the Sonics right before the match, and I have quite a few questions with me before we begin. Now, first up, after yesterday's match, what made you still believe in Onyx? Selepas match Onyx kemarin, apa yang membuat Sonics masih lagi percaya dengan Onyx?
Because Onyx, we just love Onyx, and we will always believe in Onyx.
Wow, the Sonics will always believe in Onyx. I love that. I really, really love that. So positive. Now, guys, in your opinion, I know every team, there's always room for improvement, right? But in your opinion, who in Onyx needs to improve the most so that Onyx can get a slot in the knockout stages? Siapa yang perlu improve lagi?
Ya, paling untuk lebih disiplin aja gameplaynya dan chemistry-nya lebih bagus lagi. Semoga bisa.
Semuanya kena disiplin dengan improve. Okay, he said that in his opinion, he thinks everybody has to improve on their discipline, decision making, and their gameplay. And hopefully with that, they do have the chance to qualify for the knockout stages. One last question. Anything that you guys want to say to Onyx?
Buat Onyx, tetap disiplin aja, terus main yang bagus, lakuin sesuai yang di scrim, and then buat semua Sonic yang nonton, keep support Onyx everywhere you are.
There you guys go. So Onyx, just keep your discipline, do as you do in Scream, and just do the best. Okay, guys, I need you guys to teach me how to chant like a Sonic. Okay, what are we gonna say?
I think when I say, what time is it? You guys say, it's Onyx time.
All right, let's go.
In 3, 2, 1. What time is it?
It's Onyx time! All right, so we got to hear from the Sonics who said, when asked who needs to improve, they said discipline as a team, which I mean makes a lot of sense. I was trying to read a lot of the Indonesian comments with great failure. I had to, I thought I knew enough Bahasa reading it. I do not. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, yeah, they need to step up in terms of, finding the right positioning and the right timing. Because when you go up against like a team like Team Spirit, when you have to look out for Hiko and Tao, these dudes, if you make a mistake, they will pounce.
They will pounce, and I think that when we're going on a base-to-base role in terms of the matchup, obviously we're looking at Hiko, we're looking at Sawa, we're looking at Sunset Lover. One Shot and as well as Kid Bomba. One Shot impressed me a lot on his first debut, and he's continued to be consistent and a prominent member here of Team Spirit. But Sawa, Sunset Lover, and as well as One Shot must work together, especially when you're looking up on the opposite side, having to deal with Mr. Sans Kairi and Keyboy. Keyboy in particular, he has a way to get underneath your skin. He has a way to kind of fake out their opponents, causing roamers everywhere to get a huge headache.
Yeah, and I can't help but think about what we talked about before we headed into the lineups, because of like how the matchup between Sans and Sunset Lover could potentially look like. Because if Sunset Lover has been only on the Farsa so far, and Kadita and Sans is known to bring out these picks similar to the Kadita, which we also saw earlier today, then that might be something they have to carefully consider, because pick-off burst type lineups aren't new to Onyx, but it's not working for Team Spirit. So where do they bring in the change, and what change exactly should they do?
All right, let's start a war, a fandom war.
Wow.
If you're Onyx and Team Spirit, go to your chat right now. It's a different question this time. Who will get first blood?
Yeah, I think this one, as much as Sonics are going to go with their blind belief on the 168, I think it's anybody's game when it comes down to first blood. If it's wins, I get it. I totally understand. But first blood is dangerous. Somebody could make a mistake. There could be a cheese rotation as well. A level 2 gank by EXP. Too many factors.
Yeah. And we've seen a bit too many of those mistakes happen in the mid, less than a minute into the game.
That's so true. Oh, wait, Team Spirit fans just woke up. They're catching up. They're catching up to push this to maybe 50-50.
It was a time zone difference. That's why I think, okay. So it wasn't all completely Onyx-sided, although it was heavily counted towards Onyx. Remember, every time we have that little poll bar show up in the bottom, that means that is live results. So chat and comment the name that you want to support as we head on to Expanding Rivers.
Ooh.
Faster rotations, and meaning that we could see a little bit more fighters here, especially in the gold lane, or similar to what Onyx pulled out with the Leomord for Kyrie, heroes such as that.
It also really rewards the side laners. Maybe this might not just be about the mid trio as well. Maybe for the first 2 minutes, but then we'll see the side laners afterwards. We go straight into the draft. Onyx is going to be taking blue side, Team Spirit on red.
Play the hero. I will be the truth.
Okay,
This world
usual taken
desperately
out here.
needs.
Interestingly, no jungle bans just yet from either of these two teams. So I think the likes of the Lancelot Hayabusa trades will be available, and that might be something we expect because both of these junglers are very prominent when it comes to the assassins. But
Are Team Spirit willing to open up the Fanny? Onyx are.
That's what I'm thinking about, right? Because I feel like both Kyrie and as well as One Shot have very similar assassin style pulls. They both play Fredrin as well. They both play Boxia. Like a lot of them match.
So maybe that's why they're just opening it up, because they realize sometimes the best way to activate your jungler is not by picking the best jungler, it's by picking the best picks that go along
but the
with your best
Kalia
jungler.
is still there.
And Grok.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So I think Spirit are willing to play that trade. It's like whatever we end up with, we're gonna be fine with. Whether it's the Grok, whether it's the Kalea, they're happy. So it's the Kalea for Onyx.
Why are you smashing your table?
It's because they're on blue side that they have to do this. It's really there's nothing much Onyx can really do, especially with the corner they kind of put themselves in when it comes down to these opening picks. There's still a lot of mid laners that haven't been touched, Varsa in particular, but I think that's going to be a predeterminer now that we see Yuzong's out of the question, Heaves out of the question. Both sides are egging each other on to say, I dare you, pick up that Varsa while our jungle is still up in the air.
I think because you already see the Kalea and the risk of the Kadita, I don't think Sunset Lover should play Farsa in this game.
Yeah.
Definitely. Up against a team like Onyx, it'll be way too risky. So what? Choke Ranger Prio. The choke could have come in a little bit later. The Granger. Okay, they didn't want to play the carry. They banned the Claw. They go for the Granger. Do they just want Hiko to have something safe? A little bit range.
I guess. Okay, so now that Granger has been nerfed, we're leaning more into Granger must snowball, which means mid trio must help gold lane, right? That's the signal we're getting here.
It feels a bit too safe for Team Spirit. It's as if they just want the stable or the goal lane to at least be stable, not guaranteed, not a guaranteed advantage whatsoever.
So smart. So smart. Comfort picks across the board. Lancelot, the famous Lancelot player, and Lupe getting his hands on a Lapu, both of which very good, strong, comfortable heroes for Onyx. Are they doing a mental reset game? Is that what? Because this is what it looks like from the side of Onyx.
Yeah, definitely. With picks like these, you can either have a really great early game where you just end up taking control and you snowball your opponent down, or even if it's a very neck and neck, it's a lineup that transitions well into the latter portions of the game as long as their gold laner is fine. It's versatile, you know how it wants to play, and it's not that difficult to pull off. In terms of the big picture of it all, I'm not saying that Lancelot is easy, guys. It's just, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we totally get it. Esme gonna be the pick here for the side of Team Spirit. It's this. I'm less critical about the Granger. The Granger could have been switched out for anything else, but the Granger is pretty decent pairing with Cho because at least you can kind of like hand over those assists over to the Granger. But I feel like Claude should have probably been the play.
Nah.
It was banned out by them though.
Yeah, that's also true. Or I mean, they could have gone. Oh no. Never mind. Moskov is too risky. Carry is just you're forcing yourself in a corner. Then
Yeah. Like, see, none of them want to. I mean, they already showed their Granger, so they can start banning out a lot more damage. They took out the Lunox. What else are they gonna take out?
Oh, might they want to? No.
Spanish best pick.
Maybe they want to take out the Farsa themselves.
Yeah,
too.
you Farsa, you ban out the Far. Oh wait, no, but both sides. Both sides play the Kadita, which is really annoying. Either way, like I feel like you might have to devolve down. Oh,
I know it takes a lot of time now, but what if Onyx just run it back with an Irithel to face the Granger?
Right?
Ah.
That's what I'm thinking about, especially with the carry ban as well, which is a bit a little interesting. And even from Onyx side, they get rid of the Guinevere, which is a really good idea. Now TS needs to really predetermine. We don't have a hard engager or a raw util jungle. We're going to have to lean more into either assassins or util, no overlapping in between.
Yeah, but then the damage, you'd need a bit more. You don't know what Skylar is gonna use.
Which is why at this point for Team Spirit, the Fanny's still open for them.
But the
Wherever they want to go red for, maybe that's why they picked up the Cho early. I think Onyx are signaling that we're willing to allow you to play the Fanny.
I think they're gonna go. I think they're thinking about Kimmy as an option. I also think that they might actually get Skylar on his signature pick in an Irithel. Irithel, Purify, and you should be good. Now the question is whether it's Novaria, Lilia, or even just doubling down on this Farsa just to have that raw damage.
Yeah, between these two, I think the Farsa is definitely more playable than the Onyx.
at least you have like the Esmeralda by your side. Hopefully can deal somehow with the Lapu, not win, because we've seen how the Lapu is just capable of matching the Esmeralda nowadays. So there they go for the Farsa instead, just to ensure that the damage is there. The Granger Farsa too, tested and proven, will be somewhat a better route to limit the options here for Skylar. But you did mention the Irithel, and I don't see any reason for him to not go for it, unless...
I mean, he can also go for, like, you know, the traditional Harith.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about the focus anymore. I would be okay, like, Harith should be fine. Got it done with the Harith together, a lot of magic damage. You play for pick off. You play around the Kalea, you have good healing as well. There's no healing on the opposing team. You have a lot of sustain. Oh, Bruno into the Farce is very brave.
Okay, sure.
They're gonna go for something like an Angela in mid? No way.
No, I don't think so. It wouldn't make any sense if they did. Because then you're really doubling down and hoping that Kyrie gets to do whatever he wants. There we go, the Kadita as expected. So that's two ways they can stop the Feathered Airstrike.
Just Fanny. Let's get the Fanny, bro.
I feel like they have so much faith in Skylar. Like an ungodly amount of faith that he'll be completely fine. Like nothing could ever go bad to Skylar.
What else if not the Fanny? The Nolan was used previously. The Leomord.
Of course. Dang, this is really strange to look at because both compositions have very similar styles on how they want to attack each other with vastly different cooldowns.
It should be a very interesting one. Onyx or Team Spirit, bring it which lineup interests you more?
I have not been liking what the Leomord's been bringing to the table so far.
Really?
So for like at least, especially when Onyx did it. Or maybe I'm just a Bokadita bias, but I'm gonna go for Onyx.
I think a lot of fair arguments have been made here as we start making our way into the Land of Dawn for our third match here today. It's a big one, a best of one. It's Onyx facing off against Team Spirit. Let's see how this breaks down.
XO Hall has packed up.
Wow.
With Sonics and Indonesians wanting to support, of course, the champions of MPLID and hoping that another Indonesian team will be a step closer to making it to the knockouts with one already there. Meanwhile, for Team Spirit, we're waiting to see if Hiko Mania will finally make a triumphant comeback. And how well Sao and Sunset Lover can handle the mid against Keyboy and Sans with a salvo of trades already started by the two.
And that's exactly how you want to see this game progress, especially for that mid lane. These constant trades are necessary to make sure that these supports might be a little bit slower in reaching certain areas of the map. And that could open positional advantages for Onyx ID. But as what we've seen so far, I'm surprised that Skylar, he's played in a meta Bruno versus the Granger very often. But at the same time, is it something that they needed now? Whose call was this?
Yeah, it's interesting. Even using the fighter emblem too, which we do see commonly nowadays, but it's just so weird to see the Bruno back here that we're in M7 now. Because in M6 it was a thing, but now it's not even paired with a Mathilda or anything like that. So it's literally all by himself.
Yeah, up against a Farsa, up against a Leomord, up against a Joe, no Purify.
Yeah, this first blood is really going to predetermine how big of a snowball, the team who finds it first is going to get. Because Sawon as well, He's looking for opportunities, but he has to be careful as soon as level 4 comes through. But at least for one shot, right? He doesn't mind. We're not the ones who have to continuously engage. Onyx ID are the ones who need to find holes.
Wow, this gold lane matchup is really interesting. I know we've talked about the Granger not having such a great time in terms of the laning so far because of the adjustments, but it seems like he's managing it pretty well up against the Bruno so far. Skylar's already have HP, but now we might get to see something break out here down bottom.
Trying to check if any of the roamers are going to be able to hit level 4 before the big fight breaks out. Kid Bomba handling Ludwig very well in lane. Sawa might want to get that.
No level 4s just yet for the roamers. Sawa's really close though.
He's getting there. He's getting there. But I think they both understand. We're just gonna delay this, right? Well, jungle's at level 5.
Yeah, there it is.
Everyone's all around. Oh, there's a picture fight from Sans. He catches one shot, not even able to contest. Ludwig nearly taking him down. And there's the Way of the Dragon from Sawa. They catch Ludwig, but will Keyboy be enough to finish off the job? Ludwig falls down first, and one shot still alive. Keyboy might be next, and Hiko, will he pick up the kill? He will.
That was a great connection between Sawa and Sunset Lover to make sure they got the first kill of the game up against Ludwig, and great job by One Shot to escape.
How does he live that? How is he allowed to live that for so long? And I think that it's one auto attack away. Ludwig, he had damage. Literally put him at 1% and it still wasn't enough. Let's quickly go and look at the hand cam here because again, you're expecting from Kyrie's side, he needs to be hyper vigilant when it comes down to farming at a ridiculously fast pace.
Once again, Onyx ID not getting the start that they're looking for.
Oh wait, that was actually the Tsunami Slap committed by Keyboy, but they did not expect One Shot to be there.
What were they trying to achieve with that?
They were going to go for the one. They were trying to go for the explosion because Sans has his full combination up. But as soon as they saw Barbiel show up, they're like, "We're backing off here. It's not worth it."
Sans didn't even have his Petrify. Interesting take. Hiko already has the Sky Piercer.
Wow.
Team Spirit still holding the front, holding the position.
How important is it for a Granger to snowball? And he got the first, or he got a kill early on. So this changes so much in terms of the dynamic that we're about to see. And that was with Hiko already mostly winning out on the gold lane.
Can we first talk about some of these items, right? Because we're seeing more and more laners opt to say, you know what? I don't actually need these boots. These boots suck and they waste my time. So first item war acts for Luffy super early on in this game. And then we looked down to the bot side. Hiko, he's already built up straight. Fury Hammer right in to the... Oh, okay. Rather surprised they didn't go further than that, actually.
Yeah.
Why didn't they? I mean, someone had a potential flicker.
Onyx were just quick to run away. Oh, now they go for the setup and the combo. Oh, but it seems like there was a bit of displacement. Sawo doesn't actually go down, but now he finally does. Ludwig picks up the kill. Kid Bomba jumping in with the falling star mode. The bravest fighter already committed as well. But who will actually secure the objective? Ludwig still fighting everyone. Skylar with the free hit. Sunset Lover tries to run away, but Skylar finishes him off. Kid Bomba 2 doesn't survive. And what can One Shot and Hiko do? They're all by themselves.
Skylar and this signature pick, Bruno. Whether it be Bruno or Irithel, give him crit, he will carry.
Sunset Lover held on to that feathered airstrike, but the members of Onyx were waiting. Ludwig still had the bravest fighter up for Sunset Lover to go back, and now Team Spirit, even though they had a Sky Piercer on Hiko's Granger, they could not hold on long enough to chain some kills. Onyx also juggled the hits from the Death Sonata. Now we're seeing shades of the Onyx that we're more familiar with.
For sure. And Ludwig, again, he wasn't discouraged after what happened the first time trying to get Sunset Lover. The second time, even braver, but he made sure that Sawa was out of the question as he utilizes his flicker to ensure spell. So again, in terms of resource management, Onyx ID is just etching out Team Spirit ever so slightly.
Gotta be really mindful of how decisive the pickoffs are when you talk about Onyx. I think there was just a slight miscalculation earlier. I think the title strike did not allow for the full combo of the Kadita to really connect, but didn't matter. And that's the thing, if it didn't really get to, or if they weren't really able to execute it as flawlessly, yet we're still able to win the team fight, then that's a massive threat that you're talking about for Team Spirit.
I think that the massive threat comes down to how many resources do they lose after? Because a lot of these fights that we're seeing right now, the most important fights end up saying, you know what, we just back away and nobody dies, right? And the fights that we are seeing people die, notice how there's very little cash conversion in the jungle, in the laning phase itself. Like, the differential isn't that big considering how grandiose these fights are so early on.
I'm trying to think here of what Team Spirit could do a little bit better, because I feel like that last engagement, it seemed like they were able to check their conditions. Ludwig had to commit the flicker to finally finish off Sawo, who initially was able to get away from the initial blasts of Onyx, and then they were moving well together as a team. They made sure that Hiko was well backed up. Barbiel they were able to use, but then there was just something about how the team fight of how Onyx fought that last big fight that made me feel like Team Spirit could have done something different. I just can't put my finger on it though. Or was it just Onyx fighting that way better than Team Spirit?
I think it's just way better for whoever initiates first when they have the power spike, and that's the only condition they need to make. You hit your you know you're ahead, you get your first item power spike, instantly you must punish your opponent. If you don't do it, you're wasting momentum. And I think now, as the game will slowly get closer towards 8 minutes, is when I think it starts evening out between Team Spirit and as well as Onyx.
Because maybe that's why Team Spirit's just so keen on looking for the fights now. And we saw that early Phantom Steed come in from one shot prior that turtle, which maybe also contributed to how it took a bit more time for Team Spirit to set up and fight back right after Onyx attempted to go for the pickoff, because I think he got to use Barbiel again later into the fight, a bit more later into the fight.
Yeah,
So-
twice. So we head back into the game. I mean, I don't think there's like alarms blaring off in the Team Spirit camp. They should be good, but Sans already used the Petrify Forces, the Purify out of the Granger.
Really nice, really nice. And see, this is what I wanted to mention. Oh, Skylar, are you okay? Oh, nice flicker to make sure he doesn't get displaced. But as I was saying, right, Onyx ID at this stage of the game, they're looking to try and supercharge somebody, right? They are willing to take as many fights in the early stages because it's not a matter of whether I get the kill or not. I just need you to press your battle spell.
Yeah, you force him out. Keyboy doesn't continue that attempt, but this is a 5-man rotation towards the gold lane. Towards the turtle. Now we see all members of Onyx. Sawo trying to look for a target. There's no Break the Spider just yet from Luffy. Oh, he actually lands it onto Keyboy. But will the damage be enough? Hiko just going in with 3 hits. They actually get to target one shot, but still, the retribution is going to be there. He secures the objective for Team Spirit, and now they're trying to run after the other members. Led by Kid Bomba, they actually get to reach Sans and Scalar, but they return under the turret.
Beautifully played by Kid Bomba, eating shot after shot, peeling for his team and making sure that the key initiators are taken away. That's how you deal with a composition that wants to pick you off. Make sure that their pistol either has no bullets or you take away the trigger finger.
You're watching two champions go at it. Well, now Team Spirit, right after a big loss, again, we just said it, no alarm blaring in their camp, and they were able to fight that well. I like how Hiko was able to maximize his dashes to avoid the crowd control abilities of Onyx ID when they were going for that chase. And Team Spirit, 2,000 gold lead. This could climb up even more, considering that no first-tier towers have been broken by Onyx just yet. And One Shot now has a brute force breastplate. As we look at the win rate prediction brought to us by Realme 50 Pro 5G, 64% for Team Spirit.
And this is off of a 2K gold lead, or a 2K deficit, some may say, right? Now, Hiko already with Malefic Roar already purchased an early feathered airstrikes being thrown out, because this is just posturing, right? Nothing really matters unless Team Spirit can almost guarantee a mid inhibitor, because once that mid inhibitor goes, this game is going to accelerate at a rapid pace. That's why Team Spirit, as you can see, moving down, holding control. They check the jungle, see, hey, there's no creeps there, we need to back off. We can't be wasting time.
Yeah, and these are really careful movements we're seeing from Team Spirit. At least they have Sawo and Kid Bomba to ensure that all areas are covered and that Hiko and Sunset Lover will remain safe. And that's on top of the fact that they have Purifies by themselves. So it will be a bit more tricky for Keyboy if they really want to land these combos, because they might have to work not at the same time.
Setup so far. Look at this Lord setup. Net push down on bot side, net neutral top side. So good.
Great setup there by Kid Bomba. Looking now with an Oracle. Should make him a little bit more tankier to deal with, but that's even more shield he'll be getting for himself, which means Kid Bomba is happier.
Kid Bomba? Speaking of Kid Bomba, oh, now Kiboy actually goes in. He tries to look for a target. That's Sawa once again, but he still has the flicker to survive. And now Kid Bomba catching two right from the back lines. Lutfi forced to flicker out, but the Fennered airstrike finishes off the kill. And that's one man down for Onyx.
God damn! Kid Bomba is feeling it today. Falling Star Moon, a preemptive Falling Star Moon, might I add, that he was charging to ensure that he was able to collapse upon the backline to buy that precious couple of seconds. They tried to take out the Trigger Man, Sawo himself. He manages to survive, and this was Team Spirit's response. Onyx ID, the only thing that they are lacking right now is the fact that Sawo just isn't dying enough. He is still maintaining a good amount of income to stay relevant in this game.
The tension is razor thin here as the battle above the clouds sees Team Spirit taking the first Lord, and they will be taking the first commanding lead of this game. Team Spirit now, with the lineup that they have, playing around the Granger, the Leomore, the Pharsa, Sunset Lover again on point. We put a lot of focus on him heading into this game with good reason, and he has proven why the focus was on him. Despite going up against the Kadeta and everything that could give him a lot of problems, Sawo and Kid Bomba have done so much to provide space for their Pharsa.
And I just gotta say, we were questioning, or we were a bit surprised with the Cryo, Cho, and Granger, but they're working together perfectly so far. In this game, you barely see them away from each other.
Kid Bomba said earlier they come from a region that has greatly improved with their own ideas, with their own style. If this is the flair that EEC8 brings to M7, I'm excited to see more of it. But Onyx, they have been in this spot before against Boostgate in day one.
It's assuming that Team Spirit is going to let them get to that late game, right? I think that Team Spirit now recognized after that mid inhibitor is gone, well, sorry, mid tier 1 is gone, they take everything else off of the Lord push. A 5.2k lead is not bad for Team Spirit, but it's one team fight away from going back to net neutral. And that's something Team Spirit doesn't want to do. Notice that Sunset Lover earlier purchased Genius Wand on top of the Glowing Wand. Sans decides to go for something else. Goes straight into the wings, Blood Wings. Now, I don't know what that second item is going to be, but it needs to be just more raw burst.
It's gonna be tricky for them now. Even when Kiboy finds a target, Onyx ID is not that safe, because now that Team Spirit's grouping up together, you saw the Falling Star Moons come in from Kid Bomba and how unstoppable they are when they try and just run through the members of Onyx ID. So now, what is next? There is the way of the dragon once again. They target Kiboy instead, so Kiboy could start things himself, but he still gets to escape, but not for long. Kid Bomba once again jumping into the back line. Sans not even able to commit a combo. He goes down next. Kyrie fortunately dashes away, but now it's Skylar and Lutfi. They are trying to run for their lives. Sans and Kiboy were the pickoffs of Team Spirit.
That was clean. The kick from Sawo and the follow-up by Bomba.
That's exactly what they were looking for. And Bomba, at the very least, if I am not looking to engage in Peel, I will clean up the mess left after. Now that they swept them under the rug, the real question is whether or not Kyrie is able to get in position to try and steal this Lord away while Team Spirit holds down the fort.
Lutfi, goes in with a bravest fighter. Doesn't commit the land shaker just yet. Sunset Lover sees where he is. 4 members, there's the Withered airstrike. Gets to damage Skylar just a bit. Kid Bomba jumping once again. Kiboy already low. Gets bursted down by one shot.
Bomba!
And Kid Bomba is not letting go of these 4 members of Onyx. And now they're completely zoned out. Look at him.
He's unstoppable. Falling Star Moon again. He knows he's too big for these boys to handle. This game is something.
This man, earlier he was talking about how they busted a toilet in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And now they're doing this to Onyx. Team Spirit and Kid Bomba are doing this to the champions of MPLID.
Well, what did we say about Kid Bomba and him doing Kid Bomba things? This is not the Kid Bomba we saw a couple of days ago.
Yep, it really isn't. But luckily, Kid Bomba now getting the arm, a piece of equipment, blade armor is so important to keep himself alive here. But Skylar has also finished the Malefic Gun. It's a stat check, but let's see as the Lord pushes in.
Okay. Under Falling Star Moon, but they just do all of this to
Sawo!
zone out, but another kick from Sawo! Ludwig's the target! He doesn't have enough sustain! There's the immortality for Sawo, but he will still remain alive! Team Spirits gain access to the base! A flicker out from Keyboy! And now what's left? Onyx ID! It's only Sans, but not even anymore! Team Spirits secured the win!
What a game! Now that's how you dominate. Now Team Spirit comes back into form.
High above the clouds, it's the Dragons of the North that take the Sky Kings down in front of their home crowd. Spirit is back. Spirit have sent Onyx to the brink of elimination.
Woo! Great games. Great games all across the board. Early game domination and early game plays done by Onyx, thwarted by mid-game coming in from Team Spirit. Skylar was so close. He needed a minute more to get into that full mass capacity.
Yeah, it felt like Team Spirit had little to no downtime. But Onyx, they had to wait for these picture-perfect opportunities, especially when they were playing from behind, to go for the setups to seal those pickoffs. But none of the key players allowed them to do that. And you can't even go for options like Sawo or whatnot, because they can't finish off the kill.
They really can't. I mean, when we look at these highlights, that very final play, you can see that everybody is literally trying to run. They do not want to fight. And even in this last fight, I was hoping that Lutfi would actually try and jump Sunset Lover. Doesn't. He holds on to the ult until he dies. Bit of a mistake there, but I think he already knew there was not much he could do.
I just want to say, Sawo, bro.
Sawo,
you're one of my favorite shows now.
Hey, we did talk about is the pickoff approach not working anymore? Oh, okay,
but it worked.
We take it back.
The connection between Sawo, Sunset Lover, and Kid Bomba was perfect here, setting up Hiko to show a little bit more of the mania. Oh, Kid Bomba! Definitely feeling it. Team Spirit earned that win, and now we're gonna hear from them on stage with Rose at Sawo and Sunset Lover.
And there you guys have it. Onyx Indonesia unfortunately heads into the elimination bracket. And in this matchup, Team Spirit comes out on top. And with me here, we have Sawo and Sunset Lover. Boys, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know this is definitely a very amazing win for you guys. Now, let's talk about this match first. Let's go with Sawo. How important is this win for you, knowing that you just beat the fan favorites?
Yeah, it was so important match, but doesn't matter which opponent we have. We just need win, and doesn't matter who our opponents.
It doesn't matter the opponent as long as you guys come out on top. You know what, Sawo? I really